Welcome back to Collider Live, the best show on the damn YouTubes. And we are back, and we are better than ever. I'm Roxy Sneider, looking across from me at a girl who just flew back in. She's the evilest. It's Darina.
Hello, Roxy. I missed you. I didn't see you at all last week.
It's very vain of you to have a picture of yourself on your mug.
I know.
So...
I got it for Christmas. I got it for Christmas.
I didn't see you last week either, but that will be the last week I do not see you for in a very long time because we're doing this damn show.
Hell yeah,
baby.
we are.
Like it or not, and some of you do and some of you don't. Mark Riley, what's up, Mark? Missed you like crazy.
Missed you guys. I love this. I missed the two of you together.
The two girls, one producer.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
How was Friday with the knuckleheads? Okay.
The knuckleheads were knuckling all over the place. That was they're very fun. Not a lot of, Jeff Snyder doesn't like Star Wars talk, and so every call we got was about Star Wars.
I love that, and we'll get
wonderful.
to a little bit of Snyder talk in a little.
Please.
Not just Jeff Sneider, but Release the Snyder. We got a lot of Snyder
There's
talk
a lot
on the
of
show
Snyder
today.
talk, yeah.
Also, guys, you might know him as a writer, director, or maybe you just absolutely love his tweets because he makes things up and they sound too real. It's Ben Meckler in the house.
Hey!
I've never made anything up. Everything I say is true.
That's
That's a lie.
That
You know how
is
long?
true, sir. True.
How long have I been trying to get you on the show, Ben?
It's been a while.
It's been months.
I think back in like '93, you sent me a letter.
Yeah.
I was 4 years old.
Yeah,
I was puzzled.
Yeah, well, I was very.
Perplexed.
My parents called the police.
It's.
Wow.
Well,
what
you were
happens.
such a diva back then. We
I
didn't
was.
want to get you into
That's
the show.
true.
Was.
He
But
had
it
you
actually
relax
might
now.
be
So-
true.
In his
noticed the
rider,
talents.
it was like very specific. I only
Right.
take this
Yeah.
kind of pacifier, this
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
milk.
Right,
Please, please,
What do you
nothing
think
else.
4-year-olds do?
I don't know. He does not know
Roxy
yet.
is not a mom.
He does not know yet my
established.
inability to adult or parent in any
Understood.
kind of way.
Yeah.
But the only person who can parent in this room or in the other room, Cody Hall.
Cody.
Hey, everybody.
Cody,
Cody.
do 4-year-olds have pacifiers and
I
milk?
don't think so, Russ.
He hasn't gotten
What
there
is
yet.
it?
Can.
Yeah, I'll let you know when I get there.
What do they eat?
I think food. They got teeth.
What do they suck on?
So Ben, just a little history here. Roxy's a doula, so
That's true. That's actually
okay.
true.
She's she's very good at childcare.
Right.
Yes, as you can see.
Obviously.
We had an amazing fan buy me a book on how to parent, not because I'm expecting, but just because they're concerned for my well-being and lack of knowledge in this department.
Sure.
We want to hit it early so the child has
there's
every
always-
chance.
There's always a chance that
to
in the
live.
imminent wasteland you are somehow put in charge of a child or
I
so.
mean, maybe, but then that person messed up. Like, that's the moron.
Unless it's
Sure.
like a zombie apocalypse, and then you have to take care of a child.
Why?
I got a
Because
story
you're
here.
the doula.
Yeah.
That's why.
The whole
Don't tell anyone.
the human race
I'm
is
gonna be
wiped out.
like, Roxy, pick her.
Can you imagine?
I'm like the last resort after apocalypse. Like, that's how low down I am on the raising children. I
takes all
honestly
kinds.
am flustered that they don't have milk and pacifiers at 4. You have to
Did
actually
you?
feed them. I don't know.
You have to actually feed them? Yes.
concerning.
So we'll start there.
You do have to
have
feed
to. You gotta
humans.
feed them.
You gotta
They gotta
feed 'em.
keep eating and drinking.
No, this is highly concerning to me. Never having children. Oh my god! Like
No, same, man.
I feel when we talk about it, I feel something kick. And I get nervous every time. And although I would have to have sex to get pregnant, so like that I haven't had in a really long time, so I know
Yeah.
there's nothing in there.
So
but I
the
still
universe
feel
is
it.
looking out.
Right.
It's Cody. I feel
Oh wow, you got a little sound effect. That's fun.
Yeah.
we don't have
Welcome
all-
to the
Welcome to the
Soundbite
show.
show.
Oh,
Welcome to the
okay.
show,
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah, it's not all little.
Okay,
sound
can I
effects.
get a cool sound effect on? All right, 1, 2, and. Oh, it's my favorite one. That's great.
Damn.
That's
okay.
great.
So I do
Okay.
want to talk release the Snyder Cut, but before we do that, you came in with some Snyder thoughts, but not Zack Snyder
Yeah.
thoughts, Jeff Snyder thoughts.
Yeah.
And he was on the show on Friday.
He was.
But he's not in the office today, or I would have pulled him
I was
in.
really excited to meet the Snyder.
The N Snyder. That's
Yes.
that's his Twitter
Yeah. He is-
handle.
he
Yes,
is the
exactly.
Snyder.
Yes.
What? Why?
Yeah, great question.
He's a real character. The guy's got a vibe. He's got a personality. He's got a voice. And
got a
I
couch.
would personally like to see him re-edit the film Justice League, and I would like to see the Snyder cut. I think
The
he
Jeff
crushed
Snyder.
it.
You
Yeah,
want the
sorry,
in
the Jeff
Snyder
Snyder cut.
cut.
I want the in Snyder
Me
cut.
too.
I did actually. It is true. I when I moved to LA about 9 years ago, I almost bought a couch from Jeff Snyder.
Did you really?
I did.
So you have his number.
I do have his
How
number
does
in my
it-
phone.
Like a Craigslist thing?
I don't remember. I want to say it probably was Twitter.
Yeah.
Seems
Sounds
the
about right.
likeliest. It would have been a weird coincidence if just like via Craigslist I happened to have found the Snyder sofa. But I do.
Do you remember what went wrong? Like, why didn't you get the Sneider sofa?
Oh, I was just getting a weird vibe. As soon as we started texting, I was like, I don't want to show up and meet this guy.
Is that
I don't
true?
know. No, it's not true.
I was going to say, Ben, though, this is tracky.
I was actually
Yeah.
gonna
Sure.
say no. I agree. I now know Jeff, and so
Sure.
now
You
I
wouldn't meet
I
him
like the
somewhere.
guy. But definitely when you meet him, you're like, I don't know. So I believe
Okay.
your story, and I
Sure.
don't know it's because you're the greatest fake movie reviewer on the Twitter.
Real movie
I
reviews.
wasn't sure
Real-
if
real-
you were saying the truth.
Sure.
Or not, so there's that.
Yeah.
So is that what we're supposed? Real
That's true.
movie
That's true.
reviewer. Is that how I'm supposed to say? Real movie reviewer.
Look, listen. I go and I see the films and I tell people what I think. My job. I don't get paid to review films. I don't know why they keep inviting me to the junkets, to the premieres. They do, and I'm just happy to be there.
Is that true?
I don't know.
You know I'm not good with this sarcasm
yeah,
thing.
no, I know. I think it's not. I think it is sort of true.
No,
Half true.
I think it's not true at all. I don't know because Mark is doing a weird thing with his face right now.
I'm shaking my head. No, it's not true.
Have you ever actually been invited to a press screening or done a junket?
Yes. Yes, I have.
and you so when you've seen a movie that you've been invited to see and to review, you still put out that fake review.
I've never been invited to review a
Okay.
film.
Okay.
It's not an invitation thing. I'm just happy to share my thoughts as I'm really not. I'm more a filmmaker than a reviewer. I imagine that my perspective is interesting to people for that reason. But I just, I appreciate film journalism. I like to contribute as I can. I've not, obviously written for any publications
Right.
or.
But they take your tweets
Sure.
and they put them in first reactions on websites.
Yes. Yeah. Hollywood
Lots of
Reporter,
them.
Variety.
Oh, God, yes.
I've been in Entertainment Weekly.
This is
So for anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, go
yeah.
follow him at Ben Meckler on Twitter.
yes.
And read some of his. You have a moment, so people can just look
I
at
have a moment called "Film Journalism is Alive," where I collect
a lie
know,
or alive.
alive, where I collect, just moments in which I've been able to contribute to the conversation around films and had my my first impression thoughts after film premieres included in major Hollywood publications.
I mean, your Infinity War review was just excellent.
Thank you.
That's my favorite.
I think that was my favorite too.
That's
What
the
did-
Cap
what
and
did it
Bucky
say?
one, right?
Yeah.
Cap and Bucky, I think, were mentioned.
Like 2 sentences
Yeah, I think that
in,
was Infinity War.
Yeah.
Yes.
which it's
Or
it's-
Civil War. It was
Can I
one or
look
the
it
other.
up? I'm gonna look it up
Yeah.
while you guys talk.
I have some moments
Oh, you do?
on the
'cause that's
on
my
the
favorite.
They've been
outline.
curated.
They've been curated. So Cody could pull it up, and we could go into
Yeah,
that.
well, no,
But
and
obviously-
Was that kind of was that shade at Cody?
Jesus,
Cody,
Mark.
d-
Didn't it? It sounded
yes,
shady.
yes, that was shade.
Cody,
Do you got a sound
it's-
effect for that, or
I
No, I
guess.
don't. Just sadness.
being foisted upon your
Cody
own guitar?
could
Yeah.
pull it
If
off
I'm
if he
a-
was doing
yes.
his job.
Damn,
If I'm a little-
Here it is,
Mark
Mark.
on Monday. What do we got
I mean,
here? What's
Jesus,
going on,
people,
Mark?
what the
Did
hell is
did you
wrong?
have an okay weekend?
I did. I had a fantastic weekend. I went to
There
the
are
Burbank
cranky
Wine
vibes.
Walk, and it was snowing.
All right, what do we got?
What
does
kind
it
of
say?
snow? Was it like a
It was
soap
the-
situation?
Yeah, it was a
so
soap
it's- you
situation.
gotta sound it
Not
up.
very good.
Here's a sampling of what the premiere audience is saying about Avengers Infinity War. True or false, you went to the premiere of this movie.
Of Avengers Infinity War? It's been a while, I don't remember, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It says, just got out of the Avengers Infinity War premiere. The movie is incredible, epic, beyond compare. It's everything you want it to be. Iron Man and Captain America fuck within the first 15 minutes. Marvel fans are going to love this one. Easily top 5.
And I think that stands. I do think that it's still easily a top 5 Marvel film.
because
That was
of
my
the-
favorite part.
Yeah.
Because of the progressiveness of the film.
I mean, it's such a big film. There's so many reasons.
I mean, I think it's what the fans were asking for, and is to build a cinematic universe and
Yep.
to have all that sexual tension leading up to the Infinity
It did
War.
feel like a culmination in many ways, yes.
Yeah, it sure did.
I mean, there was a lot of sexual tension during Civil War, so it makes sense that it would culminate.
It does feel like, Dorina, you fed this to him.
I know.
Like,
I know. Why do you
this
think
is-
I love him? No, because here's the thing. I used to see Ben's tweets every so often, but then I forget why we followed each other on Twitter and we became internet
remember.
friends. It might have been through Clark Wolf.
Oh, I love Clark.
Possibly,
Yeah,
yes,
it could've
because she
been
was
through
on
Clark.
your
We love
she was on your
Clark.
podcast, right?
She has not been on my podcast yet, but she will be.
Okay.
What's your podcast called?
Oh, it's called Mortal Podcast. I have guests come on I'll walk my friends through the entirety of Mortal Kombat lore from the perspective of a single character over the course of 1 to 2 hours.
Oh my god!
Right? That's super nerdy. I
Are
love
you
it.
obsessed with Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
And here I am over here reading more tweets, just laughing and stealing focus. I apologize.
They're pretty good, and we will get back to more Ben stuff towards the end. But I do want to get to another Snyder. He's not in this office, although he seems like he might be because we talk about him enough in these walls. And that is Zack Snyder. Hashtag release the Snyder cut, guys. This has been going on for quite some time.
Yeah.
And now we're talking about over a year that people have been begging and giving their souls for this. We've had charities involved in it. We've had so many fans and so many.
Wait, charities?
Yeah.
What?
What's the charity?
They have
aspect?
raised hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hundreds of
For-
I'm
thousands?
not kidding you.
For suicide prevention.
suicide prevention. This is a real thing. The
that's
Release the
good.
Snyder Cut people are like all about Snyder, and so they have found ways. They want to release the
Wow.
Snyder Cut and do good at the same time. Because at first I was hating on them as well, but like when you're raising that much money, there's at least you're doing something right.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And then there's also people in the film community who have been chiming in on this for a long time. But now we've taken it a step further. Riley, what's going on in the news?
So let's start with it was 2 years to the date yesterday that Justice League came out. So there's some groundswell of support for this, especially. So Ray Fisher. Well, first Jason Momoa. We covered it. Jason
My
Momoa
man.
was doing an interview at MTV. He said, "I've seen the Snyder Cut." There he is.
Thank you.
Ray Fisher then took to Twitter, said 2 years. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut.
So it's going to be released in 2 years?
No,
Well,
I
he's
think
at
it's 2
his
years ago.
anniversary, 2 years.
We don't know.
And
He
we
didn't
want
say, he
this
just said
nightmare
2
to
years.
end. They have to release it
Right.
now.
I think
now-
we've got 2 more years where it's a window. It could happen at any
Could be.
point in the
Could
next
be.
2, and I think
Yeah.
we should keep pushing.
That's a great observation. So we started with Aquaman. We moved to Cyborg.
We moved to Cyborg, which I thought, having 2 members of the Justice League is pretty big.
2 years, 2 members.
Two
There's got to be a
members.
correlation there, right?
But then,
Probably.
But then,
They got to get the 7 from the original tweet.
Right.
And then 7 years.
Once they unite the 7,
Unite the
it's like
7.
an Infinity Stone situation.
exactly.
Oh,
Same universe, right?
Not
So
to cross
then-
the streams, but yeah.
I love that part of Justice League with the Infinity Stone.
That's good.
Favorite.
Excellent.
Then we have Wonder Woman stepping into the mix. And on Twitter, Gal Gadot, and on Instagram,
Gal Gadot.
shares the hashtag release the Snyder Cut. So Gal Gadot comes into the mix.
And put an image as well.
It's her image, an image that never made it into the movie. So she had it, she shared it. That got everybody talking, including me. I'm like, holy shit, now we
Wait.
have Wonder Woman.
This image is a still from the movie?
Is a still from the movie Zack Snyder's cut.
How
or-
does anyone know that? It's her sitting.
Because she
Could be.
posted.
Yeah.
But
So
how
Zack
does it-
Snyder, if you
know
Because
they're
she posted
related.
it on Twitter, and that means it's real.
If you follow
Oh,
Zack
right.
Snyder on Vero,
Unsalt, sure.
which we all
Yes,
use very
so-
often, he has been releasing images from the Snyder Cut
Yeah.
for the last year and a half,
Right.
almost on a weekly basis. There's not only been images, but test shots, real footage, designs, concept art, all of this stuff that he's been releasing. So I think maybe he sent her that image of
And-
his cut.
And in another 2 years, you'll have enough to string it together.
So the fans
into
will
the
actually make the
Snyder
Snyder
Cut.
Cut.
We're getting there.
Yeah, the same dude that did the despecialized editions for Star Wars.
Right.
That's who we're counting on.
How does one discern the difference, I guess, between something from the Snyder Cut and just behind the scenes footage or deleted scenes or like?
I think that the hashtag.
I think because
Oh,
you're
so he's using the hashtag.
He's okay. After Gal Gadot does this, Zack Snyder finally takes to Twitter. I haven't seen he hadn't tweeted in months,
Oh.
and so he shared it. He said, "This ancient Amazonian can't be wrong." Uses the hashtag. That's
So
how
he
you're getting all of people.
retweeted her tweet.
Correct.
And said that she couldn't be wrong. But
She
that
couldn't
wasn't
be
the
wrong.
end of it because, like you said, we're trying to unite the 7.
And then Batman steps into the mix. Ben Affleck shares on Twitter the hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Snyder, again, quote tweets that, says Batman can't be wrong. Then David Ayer, the Suicide Squad director, shares his. Says Batman's always stood up for justice, release the Snyder Cut.
Wow.
So they're all. Do you think they're all
It's a
just
bold statement.
Do you think they're all
And
just
then
texting
Diane
each
Nelson,
other?
I think, as well.
Like trying to plan how they're going to tweet everything.
And then this
Yes.
was the
That's
last
what's
one
happening, right?
that
Definitely.
you and I were sharing last night, Roxy. She shared some behind the scenes stuff, and she shared a screenshot.
Who did? Diane did?
Diane did. So Diane Nelson is the head of operations and content at Quibi, and she's the former president of DC Entertainment and former president of WB.
So she was while this was going on.
While this
the
was going
president.
on. So a little bit of maybe a screenshot talking to Tim Yoko, who was also doing some, Release the Snyder Cut stuff,
right.
promoting it. And she said, thank you for the courtesy of asking if Zach feels he had the time and resources to finish a cut to his satisfaction, and he would like fans to see it. Nothing would make me happier than for him to have that opportunity. He earned it, and was not only a great filmmaking talent, but a true gentleman and a professional in all his dealings with the studio and DC.
So this was a screenshot between a DM that they had where
Correct.
Tim said, would you mind sharing Release the Snyder Cut, or is it okay to share that? And she wrote back saying, yes, I'm in support. If this is what he wants, then I would like this to happen as well.
Yes.
So now we've got multiple members of the Justice League. Ezra Miller still has not said anything.
Well, because
Has
he doesn't
Holly
have
Hunter
social
said anything?
media.
I don't know if Holly Hunter said anything.
She just actually tweeted a photo of the piss jar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mama's
That could work.
Granny's peach tea or whatever.
Peach
Yeah, I think that's
lemonade
what,
tea.
Yeah.
Something like that.
But a lot of them are saying, of course, Release the Snyder Cut. Some of them are saying they've seen it. All of them are saying that they want us to see it. And this is just going next level. Now, questions for you guys. Do you think that Gal Gadot and the rest of the team, but specifically Gal, would tweet this if she didn't have Warner Brothers' permission?
Yeah. Because she's currently in Wonder Woman 1984, and this is a big thing. She's going to be on the press tour. She's going to be speaking for Warner Brothers, and now because of this hashtag, people are going to be asking her that question over what the hell happens in Wonder Woman 1984.
And you think she did this without Warner Brothers' permission?
No, I think she got permission from Warner Brothers.
Oh, the opposite.
Yeah,
so
the opposite.
do you think she would do this without their permission? No. You don't,
I don't
think she would
so.
do this without their
No,
permission?
not because she is currently working on Wonder Woman 1984.
Ben?
Oh, no, I think she would do it without their permission. Because it's
Could,
not,
yeah,
it's
that
not
could too.
chastising Warner Brothers. Because the narrative, at least as far as I know, maybe I'm out of the loop. As far as I understand it, the narrative isn't that like Zack Snyder was fired for being bad at his job and not allowed to finish his cut. He just didn't finish his cut. He had to leave, for personal reasons we're all aware of.
Right.
And then another filmmaker came in and finished it. And look, the way the filmmaking works, like I'm sure by that point he had a cut. I'm sure it was like 4.5 hours long and had unfinished visual effects and was always going to lose like a huge amount of time or of runtime. And so I've always assumed that this is more a matter of like asking that he, I'm sure some people don't know this is what they're asking for, but asking that he be given the resources to make a cut of the movie.
Could be.
In which case, it's not like, why not ask to do that? I don't know why Warner Bros. Would be upset. They don't have to do it.
Well, Junkie XL already said that he had finished the composition for the movie.
Right.
So I don't know if he is asking for the resources to finish it or the resources to release it.
Right.
Although you would, because legally, I mean, I don't think he has the right to release what he has made, so he would need the resources
Right.
to do so. Dee, what do you think? Would Gal or the rest of them have done this without Warner Brothers' permission?
Well, as somebody that started the actual Release the Snyder Cut hashtag,
That was you?
Mazel
that was
tov
me.
from my people
No,
to yours.
Are
No.
you getting residuals for any of this?
No,
or-
I fucking no. I don't get any money for my tweets. It's very upsetting.
Got it.
Shill.
I know, but I am a Snyder shill.
Yeah.
And I have no money from him. No, I mean, I honestly think they were just texting each other and trying and saying, okay, they're probably going to release it one day, whether they know that it's going to be released or not. Like, why would Warner Brothers not release it? Like, they're only going to make more money if they release some ultimate edition,
Okay.
right? Like, this isn't bad for them.
Well, for a plethora of different reasons, I think they would not release it. Number one, this is a message saying, dear all of our filmmakers, if you come in and take over somebody else's project or you release something that the studio has final cut over, if you get your fans to hashtag for 2 years to release your cut, we will.
Right.
And that's a dangerous place for the studio to be in. Again, playing devil's advocate on
Give him
this.
out the
Right.
cookie.
That's true.
Yeah,
There's
totally.
a whole book about this.
Yeah.
100%. That's exactly what it is. And then they take more or cake or what's the rest of the...
Yeah, then the moose gets the muffin. It's
Yeah,
been a
so
while
something
since
about
I've
a
read
moose.
it.
I agree.
Yeah.
I never know
Moose gets the
I
muffin.
never know
love that.
the rest
Yeah.
of that sentence, but I understand the thought process
I think
behind
it's if
it.
you give a mouse a
Mouse
cookie, he'll probably ask for
Want
another
more?
or want another.
The mouse will eat
Yeah,
all the
so
whole
they're gonna
box.
ask for an additional Snyder cut, is what you're saying?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And on top of that, also, this runs the risk of the Snyder Cut being absolutely, positively horrific.
How dare you, Roxy?
I'm not saying that I think it's going to be, but it could be. It could be really bad. It could be worse than Justice League.
I don't think
But it
so.
wouldn't-
I don't think it's going to be
Or
worse
it
than
could
what
be
we
better.
saw in the theatrical
I
release.
am not saying I think it's going to be. I'm saying it could be. Does everybody
Yeah.
agree that there is a possibility that this movie
course.
is as bad or worse?
Would it matter though? Because I think that ultimately, I mean, here's if they were to do it, I feel like it's more a matter of like it would not be. I don't think it would be theatrically released, and if it was, I think it would have to be like a special screening thing that you could
Yeah,
buy
exactly.
primo tickets to. It wouldn't make any sense to roll it out as like, especially now that they've already like changed what their whole DC movie plan is.
We've already talked about the fact that we think it will probably premiere on HBO Max,
Sure.
and that's how they'll get subscriptions.
That would
for
make
HBO
sense.
Max.
And that makes sense for something being a new edition,
Right.
As opposed to, like you said, it
Right.
being bad for the
But
like
it
setting a
wouldn't- it
bad
wouldn't-
precedent or whatever.
It wouldn't matter if it was good or bad at that point because the same amount of people are going to watch it, I guess, regardless. I don't think word of mouth is going to spread 2-3 years later and people are going to be like, there's a really good recut of the Justice League, people who didn't
Well,
care the
I mean,
first
it
I
time.
could matter.
definitely at least want to listen to Junkie XL's score
Me too.
because it's probably super different than Danny Elfman's. So.
it could matter if this is excellent or horrific. It could matter
Right.
if it's amazing. Then people are gonna rip Warner Brothers to shreds. Like, why did you guys give us what you gave us when this is amazing? And if it's awful, they're gonna riot. Or actually, I think that a lot of people will not admit out loud if they don't like this movie. The
Yeah.
people who have been
Yeah.
hashtagging Release the Snyder Cut will take what they get and say that they love it.
And the people who think it's already going to be bad because they hate Snyder, they're going to say that they hate it. That's just the way it is. They've
Or not
like
watch.
the internet has already decided how they feel about this movie, even if whether it gets released or not.
I completely
That's
agree
like
with
that
that.
was the funniest thing to me
100%.
is watching Twitter yesterday, and like friends of mine too on both sides that they're just like, whatever, this is going to be bad anyways. Like so angry that this is happening, and then on the other side you have the nerds that do like Snyder like me that are just like, release it. We need to see this movie. It's going to be amazing. Like you have both people just being idiots. So whatever.
When we talk about who has the most to lose, though, I think that it's interesting because Ben Affleck really not that much to lose in this situation.
Right.
He's maintaining a great relationship with Zack Snyder. We already know he's in pretty good with Warner Brothers. However, he's not planning on being in the DC universe anymore, so
Right.
he's kind of safe. If we're looking at the people that are putting themselves at risk, Momoa's movie has not started filming yet. Momoa's movie, he's right now. There's been controversy with Amber Heard as well. And Aquaman was a financial smashing hit, but still, it's a little bit of a rocky ground for him to just come out multiple times and be the person who initiated this. Like, yo, I've seen it. Release this shit. Gal Gadot already shot her film. What are they gonna do? They're gonna pull it? No, probably not. But moving forward, Ray Fisher had his movie completely taken from him already. It was supposed to be in 2020. I don't see a Cyborg movie coming next year. Do
Which
you
is
guys?
unfortunate because I loved Cyborg in Justice League.
He's excellent,
Yeah.
but I think that they have various degrees of what they have to lose. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Gunn situation when people started standing up for James Gunn, and I'm a little nervous. Obviously, it's different, but I'm a little nervous for some of these actors because if they don't have Warner Brothers permission, a lot of times Warner Brothers will bite their nose to spite their face and just say, "No, you weren't allowed to say that.
Right.
You weren't allowed to say that. Pulling this from you, pulling that from you."
But do you think, I mean, and I'm glad you brought up the James Gunn thing because you're talking about permission, right? Like they can kind of tweet most of whatever they like if they're just tweeting to release a cut of a movie, that's not they're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
My best guess is it doesn't matter
But I think they
to
want it
anyone at
out
Warner
though.
Brothers that much. Yeah.
I would assume that the cast really likes that edition, whether or that they believe that Snyder could make a much better edit than what we saw in the theaters, and that's why they want to release.
I think they'd
because
also-
they all, I mean, I'm assuming they all want to be remembered as like, hey, the Justice League was good, not shitty, because that's what everyone's saying.
I think
So
it's even just like they're friends. Like they all worked with
exactly.
They all worked with Zack Snyder for like multiple years. They're buddies. Like if he wants a cut of a movie he put a lot of time into out, I'm sure they're gonna support their friend. I'm guessing that like it's not that big a deal at Warner Bros. My best guess is they probably have people crunching the numbers of like what is the threshold for it being financially viable to spend the money it would cost to finish like all those visual effects, which they're definitely not done
Right.
for that
Yeah,
cut.
they wouldn't have
And
finished
that
it.
would be
to
very
like color
expensive.
it, to do the sound design, to get the score in there. While Junkie XL said he did music, I would be surprised if like he had fully like cut to. I'm sure he wrote music for it.
Right.
I don't know that means that he scored the movie.
He
Like,
said he fully had.
He said he fully
Yeah,
scored it.
and he said, and he was teasing
That doesn't
some
mean
kind
he
of
did.
announcement
Yeah.
for today. He tweeted out something yesterday. You know, look for today for some kind of announcement. Maybe he recorded something. Maybe he's going to release his own score of Justice League. Just the hell out there.
The final part
Hans
of
Zimmer released, I think, Dark Phoenix sort of extra score.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That that didn't make it to the movie, and they just released it on Spotify, so they could do that too.
the final part of this story, Mark, is the fact that Collider was reporting that Warner Brothers does.
Yeah, THR Collider did cover it, but THR reports that despite the swell of support, no announcement of a release of any such is imminent, I should say. So Warner Brothers is saying that they're not planning on releasing anything at this time.
right, 2 years from now.
But 2
like
years
Ray
from now,
Fisher
Ben,
said
it could be.
on Twitter.
Let's take a vote. The first vote is should they. The second vote is will they. So should they release the Snyder Cut at this point, Dorina?
Yes.
Yes.
I want it.
I have no opinion.
Cody?
I want it.
Yeah, I think so.
I
And
think
yeah,
so
I
as
think
well.
so.
I think yes. Will they release the Snyder Cut as a business decision? Dorina?
Probably to make money. Yes.
God, I don't know.
Good.
I'm going to say yes, that sooner or later.
At some point, there will be some recut of the movie, I'm sure.
In 2 years from today.
2 years,
years from
probably
today.
from what was it? Did he tweet today?
Yesterday, 2 years from yesterday. Good
2 years
point.
from yesterday.
Cody?
I'm going to say yes with a question mark.
Thank you, Cody.
I like that, Cody.
I like that as well. I'm going to say yes with an exclamation point because I think they should. I think that they will. And I think that this is coming actually much sooner than 2 years down the line. I think with the launch of HBO Max in May, we will see a Snyder Cut being released.
Listen, Momoa, to everybody talking about the effects, because Momoa was asked by MTV during the interview, "You've seen the Snyder Cut?" And he said, "Yes, I have." And then he said, and he's like, "But how could that happen? Because the effects aren't done." And Momoa kind of tipped his hat saying, "Are they? Are you sure?" And he goes, "Well, you tell me." And so Momoa's kind of hinting that
He's a provocateur.
he's a provocateur.
My
So,
man.
and then if Diane Nelson says if Zack Snyder has the resources himself to do it, do you think Zack Snyder could finish some of the effects himself and be working on this behind the scenes just here and there, here and there?
If they're all tweeting about it, they might just know that it's going to be released next year or something.
I do really like
People are
imagining
saying
him
they've
like
seen it,
watching
too.
After Effects tutorials on YouTube at home, like trying to figure out how.
There are so
Right.
many people that would work on this for free. It's insane.
I
At
think
this
so.
point, I
Yeah.
think he could call in any favor he wants to release the Snyder Cut.
And
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he has. And I think he's been doing this. And Zack Snyder has seen that support, seen that hashtag, and he's been quietly working on it through all the tragedy he went through with his family, through all the getting back up on his feet, to getting to his new movie at Netflix, the zombie movie. I think he's probably been tinkering with this thing and has all this stuff. Because at one point I was like, there's no way he has any of this stuff until you start seeing some of these facts come out.
Trina, are you flying?
Yes, I'm stretching. I'm really sore from this weekend.
Maybe from the
Too much
flight,
walking.
too.
Yeah.
Where'd you go again?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
I'd
Oh,
never
I
been.
love New Orleans.
I
Yeah.
do.
Dude, I'd never. It was
Orleans, too.
amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, we'll talk about it after break.
Yeah,
because I want
very
to talk
true.
about it.
We have
yeah.
a lot to get to after break,
So
actually.
much.
We're going to talk about Watchmen. I know that Ben and Riley saw Frozen, and they have thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And,
Big
We'll
thoughts.
get Ben's review, hopefully.
and all the other amazing news.
Crazy.
We're
It's such a good movie.
We're
Yeah.
also going to take calls from you guys, so we'll see you after the break.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Vashadi on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
The Action What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. New episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
Welcome back to Collider Live. We have a ton of stuff to go over today because we saw Watchmen, we saw Frozen 2. Confirm that both those things are true, Ben.
Yeah.
For sure, facts. And
Yes.
also we have more news. Let's get right into this Watchmen review, though, guys, because wow, why are you looking at him so longingly?
I'm just waiting for him to yell at Cody again. See
I
what mood
guess
he's
I
in.
could pull up reviews.
See what mood he's in. Yeah.
Gosh.
I mean, Cody, you could pull up the review.
I could just give my thoughts. I mean, I liked it, guys. It was a good episode.
Cody, you could.
I could.
If you were doing
know
your
what?
job,
I'm
Cody.
not, it's Monday, so already I'm on edge. And I'm not liking the tone here. I didn't mean to do anything. Cody is my favorite person. You are.
Wait.
Like, what is going on with Serena?
Rank our tones. Whose tone?
Your tone, Roxy.
There's four
I don't like
additional
your
people.
tone.
There's 4 additional people in here. Whose tone do you like best? Who do you like least?
Well, I like
official
Ben's.
top
Ben's
4
tone
tones.
is the best.
How
in
would
the
you
room.
place my tone? Like if you had to put a word a word to it.
I would put a glowing.
Huh.
Okay,
I would
and
say
then you
glowing.
have to rank Cody, Dorina, and myself in terms of tone.
Cody's just jumping in on the fun, so he's rank. I mean, I
he's
think
second best
he's
tone?
about second best.
I mean,
He's
I
just
guess I'll
plain.
take
So,
it.
He's
so
pla-
who's
he's
the worst
playing-
tone? Is it me or D?
It's you, Roxy.
Wow.
Shit.
Why? Why?
Wow.
Because I didn't mean.
get it. I
to-
get it.
I didn't mean to make that sound like I was ordering Cody around.
But Roxy has the sexiest voice. Come on.
Do you know who agrees with
she
you?
does.
The people on the internet. Thank
Yeah,
you
you
very
do.
much,
The
my friends.
the internet is not always
That doesn't
right.
sound like the World Wide Web to me.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
People are kind, they're understanding, they like to listen, they like to be complimentary.
There's an argument on my Instagram.
And talk things through.
I have
Yeah, they don't yell.
No, especially not at women.
Right.
God, Roxy, I hesitate to ask, but what happened on the Instagram?
What
'Cause
happened
now
on
I'm
the
worried.
Instagram is I wrote, like one of my posts, I was in a red dress and I wrote, "Ready or not, here I come."
Boom,
and
nailed
then
it.
somebody else wrote, like, "No, I'm the one who's coming," and spelled "come" like C-U-M. And I wrote,
That was implied.
yeah. And I wrote back being like, dude, don't do things like this. Like, imagine this was the closest woman in your life and somebody wrote this to her. Just like, don't be that person. And somebody else wrote to me like, you're way too sensitive. And people were liking that comment. It's been going on my
Yeah,
IG.
you should let
You're so
people
sensitive.
say
You should let them
explicit
come to
sex
you.
stuff at you for no reason all the time.
Dude, so that what you there was
Whatever
nothing
you're
wrong.
doing.
There's nothing wrong with what you said. Anybody's allowed to come to anything. I was like, okay.
I have a question,
Cool.
to Roxy. Do you think it's bad because of what the person specifically said to you, or because you don't know them? Like, what if it was somebody that you knew and they were commenting as like a joke?
A joke? Oh,
Yeah.
then I don't give a shit.
Okay, right. But it's
This
because
is-
it's because
That's
it's a
a big
stranger,
difference.
right?
This
Yeah,
is a
exactly.
stranger
Yeah.
who says, no, now I'm coming. Like, don't write things like that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a stranger,
Yeah.
you're just like, I don't know you. I don't know if I want you to come. You know, like, it's
weird.
like I don't know you.
I don't know you yet.
But like, also, I know I do want you to come because like that's a nice thing to want for other
Yes,
people, but not
definitely.
Sure.
necessarily to me.
Correct. Yes.
And like just normal picture. Anyway,
I don't decide whether or not I want someone to come until I get to know them.
wow.
It's not like a blanket thing I'm just giving out.
I know for a fact I want everybody to come.
I agree with Roxy.
You're maybe a
People-
kinder person than I.
People would be much happier though if they did.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And also with the current state of the world, like
Yeah.
I think that if more people were coming, less people would be doing other things.
You convinced
Agreed.
me.
Yeah.
You convinced me.
Instead of
This is
being
why
It is
I'm a
the incels that are
big,
the
big
problem here.
fan of Hooters. I love
You should never be
Hooters.
coming into Hooters though. No one should be doing that.
Definitely
well, they
not.
have good wings.
Definitely not. But do you guys know this is a real thing? The amount of stories about like people that are, I swear to God, this is real. It's gonna sound like I'm making
God.
this up.
Oh, no.
But the amount of stories about people who are terrorists that come over into this country, like straight up ISIS, and come here and they go to things like Hooters, and then they become Americanized. Like they are
Okay.
like, okay, I don't want to go back.
Wait, well,
This happens.
So
like
they're
people come here and they
de-radicalized?
are de-radicalized because
Okay.
of places like Hooters. This is like
Specifically
Where did you read
Hooters?
this?
I've been researching this a ton. Hooters is cited so many times. Hooters is cited like as
Great
the
wings.
place that they come and like. Their people are friendly and beautiful. I'm telling you that Hooters, this sounds like the most ignorant shit that I've ever said, but Hooters saves lives, and I'm absolutely
Should they
positive.
they
change-
should
I'm
absolutely
with
be
this.
running with that. Hooters, we de-radicalize ISIS members.
I'm not kidding you. Like,
And if you
they
say
come
that
here
phrase,
for
you get a free set of wings.
Yeah.
People will come
Hey,
here.
I'm with ISIS, but if you bring me some wings,
it's
I
not
cannot
just
be.
ISIS. It's just the organization that I can say right now that everybody knows
Sure,
about.
ISIS,
but
Al
there's-
Qaeda,
yeah, there's
ISIL,
other,
depending on
there's other organizations, but they send people here to like do recognizance and
yeah.
figure out and people will fall in love with the states because of places like Hooters. I'm not kidding.
They
you.
should absolutely
don't-
have a
I-
deal
you know,
that's like
this
if you're
is a
if
real
you're with
thing.
I
ISIS.
kind of believe you.
This is a real thing. It's a real thing.
No, but why? But that makes sense though, because you in all of these societies, and it happens in our culture too, because Americans are prude as fuck sometimes too. But like you do end up repressed all the time, and these societies where like, oh, don't look at women, don't look at men, like don't look at nudity and genitals. So that would make sense if you come here, they're like, oh, they're treating it as it's something normal and beautiful.
And just
that
not,
totally makes
and
sense.
people there. Have you guys ever been to a Hooters where somebody's mean?
No.
The waitresses there
Yes.
and the server. Oh my
Wait,
god!
you're talking about the staff? Or you're talking
the
about the
staff,
customers?
the
Oh, no,
staff,
no, no.
the staff is so nice. They're so nice. I love Hooters. I will go to Hooters in any city. If I'm near a Hooters, I will pick it over any other restaurant.
You been
We're
to
near
Hoots yet?
Hooters here.
Have you gone to Hoots?
What's Hoots?
Hoots is their casual family dining restaurant.
Shut up.
Yes.
I'm not. joking.
I don't
Yes.
know.
Really?
I don't know if
This is
Hoots
true.
helps ISIS, so I got to do the research on that.
I
But
would like to see the
I'll let you
research.
know.
Eater should do like a top 10 restaurants to de-radicalize.
Maybe maybe they de-radicalize them by going to Hoots when they're young.
Hey, Cody.
They start.
Cody, scale
Junior
of 1 to
ISIS
10,
members.
how much trouble am I getting myself in this episode?
Like with
I don't
ISIS?
think I think you're fine. I think you're good.
Oh, wow.
Keep going.
How do you feel about Hooters, Cody? I feel like you're the
Aren't they,
expert
like,
here.
Closing down?
No.
Well,
never.
they're becoming Hoots.
Oh,
No.
that's right.
Guys, the Hooters on Sunset, you can find me there multiple times a week.
Really?
Multiple times a week?
I love
The food's
Hooters.
not healthy, Roxy. What are you doing?
You know, you
The
learn
wings are
something
good,
new
though.
about
It's a
people.
special
Excellent.
treat.
The
It's a
wings are
special
great.
treat.
The
You should
wings
go
are excellent.
once a week.
They have
max.
They have whiskey like all the other places. It's very inexpensive.
very true.
like
They're-
all the other places.
all the other places I go.
And it's and they're very nice. I get it.
And they're so nice. There was one waitress at Hooters named Katie who became like the most dull light of my life. Katie moved back to Australia. It was really upsetting. But when she was there, I was attending more often. She was a stunt woman, guys. This girl was a stunt woman in Hollywood. It was insane. She told me all these stories. She could, like, in the Hooters do flips and shit. It was wild.
Can we
I'm telling
talk about
you.
how we are paying our stunt people that they also have to work at Hooters? There's a huge pay discrepancy
That's
across
a good
this entire
point.
industry.
No,
Oh,
I
God,
I
yes.
did feel bad about that because she was telling me too. She was like, I am injured and I can't go see somebody to fix me here because of health insurance. I have to go because it's so much more expensive here. I have to go back to Australia, and then
sucks.
she couldn't come back here after
Gives
she
you
had
a
to go
lot to
get
think
fixed
about.
from.
Why couldn't she
from
come back?
She couldn't come back because of visa purposes. she had
That's
to go
fucking-
home to get fixed, and she couldn't
Yeah.
come back.
That's so
Yeah,
sad.
Fucking
our
Katie.
country, I guess, has this like immigration issue right now, in that the
It has
whole
a what
system
issue?
is broken. No. I don't have a problem with immigration.
It is what's the word? Immigration.
Yeah,
Do you think
Never heard of it.
Do you think if we took ICE to Hooters, they would stop putting my people in cages?
We should have a
Would make them
Hooters.
happier.
That might help.
Instead of building a wall, we should build Hooters.
Exactly.
And anybody can go. I've solved.
We
think
could
you're
also
onto
not
something.
build
Roxy
anything.
for
Just-
president.
What, anyway, let's talk a little Watchmen here.
Hey, set it up politically. Why not?
Exactly.
I mean, Watchmen
there you
is
go.
not.
Watchmen is political?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
How
I've been
dare-
watching
I don't know if
the
people
show
have
where
been
politics-
aware of this.
Hashtag not my Watchmen.
Not my Watchmen.
Have
Okay.
you guys been seeing that?
Is that a thing?
Is
Yeah.
that really?
Not my Watchmen.
Of course it's a thing. What is there Watchmen not political? Is there Watchmen? What is it about?
Oh, their
Rorschach's the good guy.
their Watchmen doesn't deal with racial issues. So not my Watchmen.
Wait, so which Watchman is that?
The Watchmen that.
I don't know. Every time I see it, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I in my head think, not my Watchmen. Like,
All right, I'm just gonna
somebody
go
just
ahead and
snapped
put.
me.
You're bringing
not
back your
my-
inner Josh
My
McCouga.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Not my Wash, exactly.
Watchmen.
But Watchmen aired its 5th episode last night, and for the people who got screeners for Watchmen that are critics, they have seen 6 of them so far. We found that out from Haley,
Right.
and Haley said of the 6 she has seen, that episode 5 and 6 were the best. I have to agree that last night, after seeing episode 5, that I think it's the best episode of the show thus far, and that's saying something because I think the show is frickin' amazing.
It is really good.
Dee, how did you feel about episode 5?
I love this show, and it's interesting because the first episode, I don't know if it was because of my expectations that I thought it was fine. Like the first episode, I was like, okay, I don't know how I feel about this, but as we progressed in the show, it's just gotten so good. It's so smart. It's just so well written. I think
I feel like you didn't you say you loved Looking Glass early on? That you loved that character? Or was that
I don't
you,
think
Riley?
I said that.
I might have. I do love him.
Yeah,
I
I think you
he's.
said that.
And I love that this episode is about him.
Right.
And that you peel back the layers on what happened to him, why he wears what he wears, and I'm going to try to speak vague on this if you haven't seen it. No spoilers. But it was fascinating to me.
I guess it was kind of an Easter egg, but did you notice that they revealed in the episode that Looking Glass is meant to actually be the Tim Blake? He is Tim Blake Nelson, the actor in our reality.
Okay.
In the Watchmen reality, the same man, Tim Blake Nelson, simply becomes Looking Glass. Which I thought was really interesting and a cool way
you
to
know
kind
what?
of
I
play
thought
the...
that was a
Who's your
good
favorite
twist.
character in the new show? Man.
I now see what happens. Yeah, go. Sorry.
Squid.
Okay.
Oh, you like Squid.
I liked him in Rocket Power. I like him in Watchmen.
What was your favorite thing that Squid did in this episode?
Fall out of the sky.
You did it very well. Yeah, I would definitely
it's
agree with
like-
that.
Look at you, you're like,
know what
nailed it.
You could have stuck with this episode with two people having sex with each other because, again, I don't want to spoil, but we watched some things go down on screen in this episode.
Things.
We watched some things happen.
Like sex stuff? Not allowed to watch that stuff
The
yet.
big ass.
No.
What age are you allowed to start?
45.
Good
15 years and I'm in.
Now I've got to take notes on how to parent.
Yeah.
Don't let them have sex
Yeah.
until 45.
Yeah,
But
4
take
years
them
old,
to
milk and
Hooters
pacifier.
early on.
Yes, very
Yeah.
true.
If it seems like they're getting radicalized.
Cody, did you watch Watchmen?
Oh, I love this shit so much.
Did you
Yeah.
like
It's a
this
good
episode
show.
best so far or no?
Yeah, I think so. It's between this and episode 3, I think, are my two.
Okay. 3 was pretty great.
Yeah.
I liked the odd one out, I guess. I liked 2 a lot as well.
I liked
thought
2.
that 2 was excellent. But I think that this one was really cool, especially for non-Watchmen reader watchers. If this is your first iteration of Watchmen, I think that this one did a really great job of stepping us back and explaining without having too much expose, but explaining what was happening.
Because I do wonder how it is for people, for the non-comic book readers, right? Like how many people are started watching the show and don't know what the hell's going on, but they're still watching, right? Like I'm curious as to
My
like what
fiancé.
the percentage is. So she's watching it and liking it, and she's never read the book.
She's loving it. Never read the book. This episode in particular, we had to pause, and I had to give a 15-minute kind of recap.
Right.
Because she was so fascinated, and then
What part did you need to explain?
Tim
it's
Blake
a big it's a big spoiler
The
for that
flying
episode.
squid.
Is it a specific character?
No, it's a specific squid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you also loved the squid.
A squid
character.
specific.
Specific squid.
Squid thick.
Squid specific.
I mean, there's
Squid.
something that
Squid
happens,
piffing,
you know,
yeah.
that is a direct reference to the comic book. And at that moment, that's when Julie went, wait, what? And I go, okay, let's pause this.
Right.
And we talked a little bit about it. And now she started looking up Watchmen graphic novels on Amazon because she wants to read it.
Good
Wow.
for
So
her.
that,
Boom. She
Awesome.
can borrow mine if she wants.
Oh, can I?
Yes,
Yes,
100%.
please. Absolutely.
The Lady Night Looking Glass interactions this episode
It's fantastic.
was probably my favorite thing I've seen on screen in a really long time, especially towards the end of the episode with what happens.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God. I Regina King for all the Emmys.
She's a fucking badass, man.
So good.
And it's like Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross like wrote a score that's appropriate for Regina King.
God, this score
You know-
keeps getting better and better.
I don't quite remember though what did happen with the two of them. Ben, can you remind me what happened with Regina King
With Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
No, Tim Blake Nelson and Regina King. What happened in this episode?
They went to Disneyland.
And then what happened?
They went on Space Mountain.
Oh, yeah,
Wow.
that's what I was talking about. That scene on Space Mountain, the tension was lit.
Well, you
Really
know,
good
I
score
see
during
I don't know
other-
why they had to show the whole ride in a 1080p POV.
I think that it's really good use of their money.
Yeah, I just feel like either do a lights on ride through, or if you're going to have lights off, like use a camera that has a light on it.
Right, because
it was
it
mostly
was very dark.
You
It
could
was like
see
Alien
the
versus
dim,
Predator.
the faint
It was
outline,
really
and you
dark.
could see the little dots from the stars. but it
Maybe
wasn't.
you should start a hashtag on Twitter and say release the Lindelof
Not my,
cut.
not my Watchmen. Lights on Space Mountain on my Watchmen personally.
Well, I understood why they did that because, you know, Dr. Manhattan being on Mars, so we think, Space Mountain
Exactly.
being, you know, space.
Have they said who's playing Dr. Manhattan yet?
Not yet.
Let's talk Adrian for a second.
Okay.
How do you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
feel about him this episode? And that
The big
scene,
reveal?
that big
yeah, the non-spoiler. Oh man, I guess that the thing I love about it so much is that they keep surprising me, and that happens rarely now, especially when it comes to comic book stuff. You know, because like you not only know what direction they're going, but they're taking something from a very beloved property, and they're just doing their own spin, and that rarely goes right, and that's just very impressive.
I agree. Any other thoughts on Watchmen before we move on?
I'm wondering, speaking of Dr. Manhattan, I'm wondering, it's like it seems to be leading somewhere, which I love, but I want to go back to what you queued up, and that's Jeremy Irons is fantastic in this thing.
He's so great.
Adrian Ozymandias is... There's something going on here that I find fascinating that I have no idea.
I haven't figured it
None.
out. Yeah.
And that is what I love, is that we are getting to a point now where it's like, you said it, Dorina, everything is a surprise. That these episodes all end, and I'm like... where are we going? And that's so wonderfully refreshing
Yeah.
and to see this in a series like this.
Well,
Especially with an
episodes are they
actor like
doing?
that.
8.
Is it 8?
Oh, that's a short
9.
season.
9.
9.
8
Wow,
or
I
9.
said it with
Pick
such
an even number,
I
guys.
said it with such
Come on.
authority. I
I
think
know.
he's right though. I think they
You
did say
jumped
9.
in.
Yeah.
8. It's 8.
No,
Is it 9?
I do think it is actually 9. Now that Cody said that. Cody, are you messing with me or it's really 9?
I'm looking it up to make sure,
It
but I'm
might-
pretty sure it's 9.
Yeah, it
9
might
sounds
be.
right. I noticed when you looked up the
is
hashtag for Not My Watchmen,
Yeah.
there were several pro-Trump, Not My Watchmen people, and I'm just curious, like,
Well, the hashtag didn't
what,
go very far.
What did they miss in the Watchmen graphic novel?
Actually, the hashtag did not go very far.
didn't.
It
Okay.
just kind of ended
That
right
makes
here.
sense.
Maybe a
the
bot made
the
it.
hashtag often appears on IG story. I see.
Oh,
Interesting.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like read the Wikipedia page for like fascism, just like at it, just to. I feel like those people just maybe there's something
Not
they
my
missed in the first
Watchmen.
in
Not
the
my
book or like.
It's a wash.
Read the book too.
Cool.
So would you guys say this is your favorite TV show right now?
I think yes, actually. I do think so because I try to rate it based on when I watch things, and I watch Watchmen. It's the only show that I watch live right now.
Who watches Roxy watching The Watchmen?
Nobody, because I'm alone. So there's that. So thanks for pointing that out, D.
I was just trying to quote the book.
Air horn would have also been pretty funny there, just like just a punch up. No.
I want to talk a little Frozen though because I was not able to go see Frozen this weekend. I missed it, but I did see, Riley, that you took your niece
I took
there,
my
which is
niece.
freaking adorable.
She loved it. Yeah.
So talk to me.
That's cute.
Frozen 2, how'd you feel? Should I go see this? Didn't love the first one.
The first one I like, and I like the second one so much better.
Wow, so
That's
it's
what
better.
I
2
keep
is better.
hearing.
Yeah, I think 2 is better. I think it has more of a adult story, in meaning that kids are going to love this thing, but there was some really wonderful kind of adult themes that I found very interesting. And the music wasn't as catchy as the first Frozen, which is why I liked it more because there wasn't any earworms when you were walking out of there.
Right.
Going like, get the hell out of my head.
Did your niece walk out singing?
She didn't.
Oh.
She just walked out just with a big smile and then told me to buy her red vines. So that's kind of how.
Is that in the movie?
It's not in the
I don't
movie.
remember
That's
seeing-
that. It happened in real life.
Okay.
Is that
Red vines are pretty great.
she
Better than
fooled me
Twizzlers.
too in the cutest way.
Wow.
They are better than Twizzlers.
Wow.
Thank you, Roxy.
I agree 100%.
You
I come
disagree?
from
Do you know
Twizzlers
that
country,
this-
and I
This
prefer
is
red vines.
an East Coast, West Coast thing.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Is it? What?
Yes.
So you guys like Twizzlers and we like red vines?
Yes. And
Oh.
obviously there are exceptions to the rule. Where are you from?
I'm from Florida. They didn't even have red vines there. I didn't see a red vine
So
until
you're
I came over
you're
here.
in Twizzlers country, yeah.
and
but you like
I
red vines
prefer
better.
red vines.
Get out of my coast.
Cool.
Wow.
Thanks for being on the show, Ben.
I just got off a plane, but I'll get back on.
Cody, Twizzlers or red vines?
I'm a Twizzlers guy.
It's fine. I mean, you
Okay,
like what
Jesus.
you like, but it's fine.
Go Cody. Get it, Cody.
all right.
So
Cody.
you're also you like obviously my niece likes red vines, so you would tell her to get out.
Yes. Well, no, because
Fucking
we're on
rough.
her
Dude.
coast.
That's true.
It's her coast.
There it is.
So you think that it's better than the first
I
one?
personally, I
More
did
adult.
more adult, but just enough for the kids to just. I mean, my niece watched the entire thing with her head on my shoulder, which was fucking adorable, by the way. But just enraptured by it. She was just so into it. And we were at the El Capitan. She was so excited that they were playing the piano. She screamed out, "Start the movie already!" And I just went, and the woman sitting next to us went, "I agree." And I thought it was very cute because she was so. She's a Frozen. She
Does
wore
she-
her Frozen dress. She
Meanwhile, the organ player is like, there's like 2 places that let me play this thing anymore.
I know.
But
poor
sure.
guy. The poor guy.
Yeah, start the movie. Fuck me.
He
I
was
guess.
doing this to get people to clap
I
because
do
it was a
love
little
that guy.
quiet.
I am
I
curious
really
how
love
many
that
times
guy.
we can all swear during our Frozen review.
Am I allowed to say fuck? I forgot
Yes,
to ask.
yes, absolutely.
Totally can.
but-
what do you think about the movie?
It was harrowing. I really enjoyed it. I liked the way that it pulled from history, from different.
Cultures and
what
stuff,
era?
I think primarily Frontier era, when there were a lot of people that were dealing with very harsh conditions that they maybe weren't prepared for, and how to survive and the limits and the things that we're pushed to do once we're put in when we're proverbially and physically frozen.
How violent was it?
Man, I probably wouldn't
I mean, if we go to your tweet, the auto cannibalism.
Yeah, that was definitely the stuff that shook me up the most. I don't want to spoil anything.
Right. That's a big part of the movie that we should
the
probably.
cannibalism is tough.
Yeah.
Especially in a
I'm
kids
super
movie.
excited now.
But it was
they-
real. I agree. The adult, as far as adult themes go, like it was a lot more mature, and it definitely gave you more to chew on. Just to have a little fun with it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you,
you.
Ben.
Are you going
Thank
to
you.
be seeing this movie?
I'll see it eventually. I'm not. I don't. The first one's fine. That's how I feel about it. It's fine. I mean, I'll probably see it because I see most Disney movies, but it's not something that I'm like, oh, I can't wait for Frozen 2.
I was with you. The only reason I wanted to go to this was for my niece. I wanted to
Right.
take her. I wanted to be Uncle of the Year. I wanted to see her reaction.
Exactly.
And that I got all of that. But then I found myself being sucked into this. And I'll say it. There is a song that happens. There's a moment in this movie where I was just like, that's it, Cody.
That song? That one?
That song.
Damn it, Cody! You made me like
He was
Sugar
so
Ray.
waiting.
I love that
No,
part
but I
of it.
teared up. I thought it was such a beautiful moment. Not only the music, but the character work. The animation is something unreal. It is unreal how good this animation is. There's something that happened in there that I even looked at my niece and went, "Wow!" Right? And she was just like,
She said, "Shut the fuck up."
she's like, "Shut the fuck up, Riley."
We're going to Hooters
Okay,
after
Yeah.
this,
So
Mark.
we've already established that I'm somebody who understands kids very well, and what happens at what age. So, Cody, is this something that you take your kid to?
Not right now. He's 3 months old.
That's too young.
How old does your kid have to be
Roxy.
to take him to the theater, Cody?
Oh, I'm gonna wait till at least like 5 or 6.
Okay.
5 or 6 years
Yeah,
old?
Good
screaming
man.
Years or
babies in
months?
theaters is my nightmare.
Good man.
Years.
5 or 6 years old?
Yeah.
Do you understand when you hear a child crying? What is the first thing you do in a movie theater? You go, "What the fuck did they bring their child for?"
The weirdest is when I hear a baby crying during a horror movie. I'm like,
Right.
what,
Oh, yeah.
what-
We've
what's
been
going
there.
on?
Baby doesn't know what they're watching.
That's true.
Baby doesn't care. They can't
I-
see the screen.
Babies
I
are,
know, but
babies
we're-
are
we're
always
so
at the
mad about
theater,
it, though.
They're not supposed to be.
Until they're 5.
Well,
It feels
it's
egregious.
like now there are things I know at the Grove where they have like Mommy and Me screenings where the moms can finally catch up on their movies, and at like 10 a.m. they can bring their
Right.
newborns or their
That makes
toddlers
sense.
or whatnot, so they can
That's
be
cute.
loud and
That's
have
good.
fun and do whatever they need to do. But when you're in like the evening,
Yeah.
and there's a screaming, crying
Like
child
during Joker or
Well,
something.
Riley, this is something even I know. You can't do things with your kids at night.
it's
What do
very-
you mean?
They turn into gremlins.
Like
you
they-
get
yeah.
take them out, you feed them, you get them wet after midnight.
Exactly.
They go to
It's a
sleep
disaster.
earlier than we do.
right.
If
but
they
this is-
sleep, some just stay up all night.
She knows what she's talking about.
But there's a certain age. Okay, so
So that's the
my
problem with
niece
that.
that I brought. My niece that I brought. I mean, this is a
Can
new
Roxy
thing for her.
babysit your niece?
I
See
would
what
love that.
happens.
I think
I'm really good with kids.
Zoe
How
would
old?
Zoe
How
would
old?
probably
As opposed to
babysit you.
non-kid kids?
Zoe would
How old
kick
is
ass.
she?
She's 7.
Yeah, 7 is great. This
Yeah.
is what my sister says. Once they can dress themselves, I'm cool.
She can dress herself.
I just don't know when
She's
that
sassy.
is.
She's
Takes a
got
minute, yeah.
she's got an attitude. She can handle it.
Yeah, you just have
How
to
much
be
can
like,
she bench?
She can bench about.
Great question.
I think it was 120 she got up.
Wow.
2 reps.
What's her land speed?
I don't know, about 3 knots.
Not bad.
Can I ask you a question? What's a land speed?
I don't know. It just came out.
I thought it was a nerdy Star Wars
The
term.
answer
Yeah,
of 3
maybe.
knots just came out
He said
too.
at 3 knots.
Knots. Yeah. See.
Wow, that was
Sure.
a good pick, guys.
It's comedy.
That was a good.
Max-
I-
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
look,
you believed it.
I started
Yeah.
following
Exactly.
Ben.
You
I went,
fooled
this
her.
guy I know.
Yeah.
I've never met the man.
Yeah.
But this guy I know.
Riley,
Just from his
You guys
tweets.
have a connection.
Can
Yeah.
I say one thing before we move on to
Sure.
more news? Remember how you caught me outside sniffing my tea?
I do remember.
Did you say
Yep.
tea
Tea.
or
So I was sniffing my tea. But guys, it smelled like my perfume. I could smell my tea on the
Sure.
perfume. The tea bag smelled like my perfume.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if my perfume smelled in my bag.
Oh, did
and
tea
if I
bag.
should have this tea bag. But then I decided to have it anyway because I needed the caffeine. And I will tell you that this tastes like straight up perfume. Like my
Okay.
tea tastes
That's
like,
so
and
gross.
it can't be good for me. But I do need
Wow.
the caffeine.
I
No,
just
I
felt
get
like
it.
I was
That's so
watching an episode of
gross.
Watchmen because I had no idea where that was going.
Yeah.
I was on a
It
journey.
It tastes like.
I was like, whoa.
It tastes like flour oil.
Is it lavender?
No, it's like a.
Is it Earl Grey?
So Roxy, it's
Now I kind of want to taste
your
it, but it tastes
perfume.
gross, right?
Your perfume spilled in the purse.
I guess so.
Okay. How often, because this is a question I personally have because my fiance, Julie, has always been spilling things in her purse.
Right.
Just spilled her water bottle and she pulled out her Mentos.
Good woman.
And they were soaked.
Yep.
They were soaked. So how often does this happen? Because it seems to be a thing with my fiance.
Well, all the time.
Okay, there we are. There we are.
Because I have a purse with no compartments.
Okay.
First mistake.
I think
You should
yeah.
get a cargo purse.
You
Well,
need
you
extra
do.
pockets.
You save a lot of money. You buy the
need some
cargo pants.
pockets.
You
And
sew them up.
You can carry your tea and cargo pants if you
Yeah.
wear
Perfume
them.
too.
Yeah,
Let's
but
talk Star
anyways.
Wars. What do you got for us, Riley?
You want to talk Star Wars? Okay.
Let's invite. Should we call Jeff Snyder? He loves talking about Star Wars.
Can
God,
we?
Jeff Snyder.
Do you want-
my
And Ben
favorite
loves
thing.
Jeff
I'll call
Snyder.
him right
Please
now.
go
texted
back.
him.
You should
Just
tell.
go-
You
Should I
should
just
text him.
blind call him?
You should text him to call us.
Do you still have his number?
I don't know.
Hold on, let's check.
I can check.
Let's check.
No.
Bring it up. And
Wait.
I think it would be hysterical to call him live
I can
on air.
check.
100%.
I think it would be
Snyder.
hysterical.
But you can't say you're on Collider Live.
No.
No, but he
No.
has to
No,
call.
Riley, what are you checking right now?
We're going to check numbers to see if the number
Oh, if it's
matches
the same.
up. Because I
But
was
don't
just
give him the number. He
No.
only can call if he has the number still.
I don't know.
Can I tell you guys that I see him scrolling through messages? What is this from when you tried to buy the couch?
I'm trying to see if I still have that conversation, but I don't think so. I think I
No, you
got
can't give him the number.
617. Well, let me
No,
see.
if you-
I'm going to
if-
Are
see
you
if
going to
I
say the
Type
whole
it
number
up.
out loud?
Type
or I'm
it
just
in.
curious
Can
if you
I?
want all the fans to know.
Wait, can I?
No. No. No and no.
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah.
there it is.
All right,
Okay,
let's see
call
how
him.
this goes.
Let's
Cody,
see, let's
is this
see if
kosher?
he actually picks up.
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Should we just ask Cody all the time? What
Hold on.
What are you
kosher or
gonna
not?
What are you gonna talk to him about?
See if he
Well,
still
I
has
don't
the
know.
couch
Ask him.
for sale.
Ask him what he thinks
Oh,
of
wait,
Frozen
that
2.
is right? It even has his picture. That's
Let's
weird.
try it.
Are you gonna go see Frozen 2, Roxy?
Only if I go with you.
Because I was gonna say
otherwise,
same.
Probably not.
I probably won't see it. Should we just
That's
go
it.
see it?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see how this goes.
Ask if the couch is still for sale.
He's not going to know what I'm talking about.
It's speakerphone, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I hope he picks up.
Okay. This is lovely.
I hope his snidey
Either
senses
the
are
first
tingling.
of many or the last. He does want.
Does he know
people
who
to
you
call
are?
him back.
See a guy that answers.
This is Jeff.
Hey, man, it's Ben Meckler.
Hey, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good.
Just want to see what you're up to.
What's up?
I'm just hanging out in Burbank. Gonna get lunch in a little bit. Just want to see what you're doing.
Oh, okay. I see. Are you on Collider Live?
What?
He
on what?
did it!
Jeff
Oh,
Snyder.
I got.
Jeff, we wanted to get you on the phone because we're going to cover some Star Wars news right now. How are you feeling on this?
Oh, God.
Jeff, more.
I don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't, man.
Mandalorian. I haven't bought my ticket for Rise of Skywalker.
You're a Star
Wait,
Wars
Jeff,
guy.
did you really buy a ticket for Rise of Skywalker already?
No, he said he didn't.
I did not.
You didn't. You didn't. Okay. I didn't get mine either. Just putting it out there.
Jeff, we have a guest on today, Ben, who tried to buy a couch from you many years ago.
Yeah.
Any recollection?
Yeah, I realized, Jeff, that
What?
the reason I have your number in my phone is because like 9 years ago, I almost bought a couch from you.
Well, as it so happens, I am selling a couch right now, Ben. If you actually want to buy my couch.
Oh,
Is it a
shit.
sectional?
It's actually in great condition.
Is it a sectional?
Yes.
Okay. Like how big? How big are we talking?
You know what? I'm
what
not
she
good with
said.
measurements, man. But
Do you have, like-
you can either take the whole thing.
I mean, do you have tape? Do you want to sell this couch or not?
I'm gonna say 9 feet across.
Okay, I'm 6'3", so that works out for me. I can sprawl out.
9 feet is huge.
That's really
Where
big.
do you have it?
I know. Well, I like to get a little wild on my couch.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So
Will
now
you
some-
personally-
definitely somebody wants to buy it after that.
Can you get it through my doorway? I want to see you hoofing it through.
Pivot.
Pivot.
I would hire Roxy and Dorina as movers because they're a lot stronger than I am.
This is true.
Jeff, you rock.
Emotionally or like
Both.
Both.
all right.
Both, actually.
Great.
I wish you were in here today, Jeff.
I know you need to come on the show more, Jeff. Did you have fun Friday?
Sorry that I'm not.
All right, that's enough of Jeff
let's
Snyder,
see.
everybody.
All right, later,
Jeff
dude.
Snyder.
Bye, Jeff.
Ian Snyder.
Bye, Jeff.
It's good talking with you.
So what's actually happening in Star Wars right now?
Hold on, Riley, real quick. There's a news story that is pretty popular this past weekend, but not a lot of outlets are really talking about it, so I figured we'll do that here real quick.
Okay.
There it is.
Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's out. Oh my god.
Did you think we were going to talk about it?
Oh my god. You guys are playing it, right? I'm playing it. You're playing it? Oh my god.
I'm not
I
playing it.
ignored my child for 6 hours to catch a Growlithe
I'm
yesterday.
not gonna have a child for 6 years so I can continue to play these games. Oh my god.
Get in here! Emma, are you playing this too?
Are you playing Pokemon?
I have Pokemon, but I'm still playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, I don't have music for that. Guys, what do you think?
Ben, that was your
So
first
that was-
Pokemon takeover experience. How'd it go for you?
Yeah,
Do
that's
you know?
your
do you,
face.
do you
I'm gonna be
realize
honest,
what
I
just
checked
happened?
out.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you checking
The
out.
train left the station.
But then you held on a little bit and you looked. You kind of went. It's coming from there.
Ben kept
Yeah.
looking
Next
at
door.
Schnepp,
I mean, it wasn't-
which was the best part.
it
Ben just
wasn't
kept looking
hard
like
to-
Schnepp.
Is
It was
Schnepp
just-
talking
yeah.
to me right now?
It was-
God, is that
Schnepp,
you?
is that you?
It was telepathic. I mean, it wasn't hard to suss out what was happening. I am excited about the new Pokemon games.
Are you a Pokemon fan?
I am. I got home at.
Oh, there's a crow. It's like made of metal.
I got bitch slapped by an Onyx yesterday.
A British Onyx, mate. And you call your mom a mum. Your mom's a mum.
I don't know where you're going to this bit.
She's a mum.
Okay.
There's a lot of sexual undertones.
Move away
in this
from the
game.
mum.
Oh, I see. Okay.
She's a mum with a rubber Johnny.
Cody-
Where's her rubber Johnny?
Cody and Christian Rubalcaba are the biggest Pokemon fans
Understood.
we've ever had.
I'm
So-
a huge fan.
so
I got
they're
home.
very happy today.
Yeah. No, I got home off the flight last night, like 10 p.m., and I had a double pack of Sword and Shield waiting for me at home, and my wife and I both immediately popped in our individual copies of Pokemon and played.
I don't know who this Ben guy is, but he fucks. Oh my god, this guy's great. He got both Sword and Shield. This dude knows what's up.
Yeah, dude.
Woo!
Yeah, dude. I got that Surfetched. I got that Galarian
He's got
Ponyta.
Surfetch. Oh, he's got a long sword because he's
Someone who knows what we're
Oh,
talking
like
about.
that.
This is great.
Yeah.
You just made
Could I
a
be-
new BFF.
Great.
The
This is
fact
what
that
happened.
Christian Rubalcaba said that because he's in Pokemon, he fucks.
Yeah.
Just
I-
Historically,
I've
it's the
never
only
heard
way I've
that
been able to
before.
learn my whole
absolutely did
life.
it for me.
It makes one
Yeah.
of us, man.
Yeah.
Maybe I should
Do you
get into
never play?
Pokemon.
You never play Pokemon Go, Roxy?
Dude, I told you,
I've
Airhorn,
never-
you got a zig when they
I
expected
never
to
played
zag.
Pokemon Go. However, I did collect Pokemon cards growing up.
Whoa.
There you go.
Whoa.
Cody knows. I collected them, and
I didn't know that.
Oh my God!
I don't
Cody,
think anybody knew
I
that.
collected. I had so
Breaking
many
news
of
to
them,
me.
and I called my dad is clearing out his house, and I called my brother the other day, and I was like, "Yo, can you grab my Pokemon cards because that shit's worth money now?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Already sold them. Already spent it.
Oh, that's so sad.
Son of a.
Already sold them. Already spent
That's
it."
pretty cool.
There's nothing you can really do about that, though.
I wish my parents would sell my shit.
Explain yourself, sir.
It's just all piled up in my room.
Are you a hoard? I hate hoarding. That's
Yeah.
why
I do
wanted
too.
to-
I like
get rid of
collected
everything.
Pez
You want the
dispensers
money?
when I was a kid, and they're all just like cracked up in a bin,
Yeah.
sitting in like a closet. I'm like, that was a huge
Just
mistake.
burn. Just
I
make
was
a
like-
seance and burn them.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I was like, that's my money though. He was like, "Did you pay for them?"
How much money?
And I was like,
Oh, that's a very
That's a
dad
good
thing to
point.
say.
"No, our
I w-
parents paid for them." He's like, "Then those are my monies."
When I was a
Oh,
kid,
your
I
dad.
tried to run a scam when I was a kid. I got fool's gold. And I would go to like Pokemon card trading places, and I'd be like, "Yo, I'll take that Charizard off your hand for some solid gold." It never worked.
Oh man.
What's your favorite Pokemon?
My favorite Pokemon is Slowpoke.
Slowpoke.
Yeah.
Did they get his name from Slowpoke Rodriguez from Looney Tunes?
Oh God, I hope not.
I don't think they
Slowpoke
announced where
Rodriguez
the name
is
comes
a problematic character.
I mean, I used to like it as a kid,
Man,
but I get it. But I
Slowpoke
get it.
Rodriguez has come up more than I expected
think
this year for me.
You're allowed to like Slowpoke
Look,
Rodriguez more than
it's
we are.
problematic. Whatever the kids are using these, whatever
Sure.
word the kids are using. But when I was a kid, I was like, I thought it was that's my people around there. I thought it was cool because I
Yeah.
didn't see my people ever. So
Sure.
you know, it was a shitty representation, but it was a representation.
Better that than nothing.
Yeah, I guess.
There were only so many shows that had more than one character.
Yeah, I like Slowpoke. But
Yeah.
anyways,
And Darina has spoken.
yeah, there you
You
go.
know what, Riley?
Yeah.
I actually decided I don't care about Star Wars news right now.
Yay!
Holy shit.
Maybe.
Yeah, good money.
Maybe for the last half hour. I don't know. We lost him. I might care in a little bit, but right now I care more about callers. So let's open up the phone lines.
Agreed.
Hey, you know what? I'm always okay.
If they care about Star Wars news, we'll touch on it. If not, we'll do it for the last half hour.
They're
but-
gonna-
Can I say really quick how much I love New Orleans?
Yeah, 100%.
What did you do while you were there?
Yeah.
Everything. I didn't
Damn.
never been. I went everywhere.
Any
I
jazz,
went to I walked
food?
around with a cup of alcohol because I didn't know you
can
could
do
just.
that.
It's
Yeah.
like Vegas.
Welcome
you can just
to-
drink
yeah.
all the time.
Open container laws,
That was
baby.
amazing.
New Orleans
and
is like if
beautiful.
Vegas had any personality whatsoever.
Exactly.
That is what it is.
It's like a really beautiful Vegas. And
Yes.
and everywhere there's just jazz and blues playing everywhere.
Ska.
Exactly. There's voodoo happening. There's
you
like
go to-
people
It's
are doing
crazy you haven't been because you are made for New Orleans.
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
know
you go
because
to-
I didn't travel much as a kid. So I'm traveling now. What were you gonna say, Mark?
Anne Rice's home. Did
Exactly.
you go visit?
Yes. So we did a vampire tour.
There it is.
And
There
they
it
took
is.
us to the Interview with the Vampire House.
Yep.
They took us to the originals, the spinoff of Vampire Diaries. So
Obviously, I watched that show and I covered it on AfterBuzz TV. It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Well,
so don't even
obviously.
question me
I
about
saw
the originals.
the fucking originals house,
Don't even
Roxy.
question me about the
Jeez.
originals.
Really fucking
You really
good.
think you're gonna come at me about
It's like a
Really
3-bedroom,
fucking good.
2-bath
It's a
apartment,
really
right?
good show.
The original.
I think
Yes.
she's fine.
Don't step to
No,
me
it's
about the
a
originals.
really good fucking show,
Retract
Roxy.
the
Like,
crawl.
really
I
good.
fucking said it's a good show, Roxy. No, it's a really good
Did you go
fucking
to
show.
District Donuts?
No, but because I kept eating beignets. I ate
Fair.
like 20 beignets.
Cafe Du Monde?
Yes.
Cafe Du Monde.
But and Cafe
A tourist
Beignet.
place that's actually really good.
Yeah, it was
Cafe Du Monde.
impressively
What's
good.
up? Why do you know so much about New Orleans?
I
Are you a
really love it.
vampire?
I went once as a kid. In film
was-
school,
look
I
at
went there and
this.
I shot a documentary about the ska scene in New Orleans post Katrina, which is terrible and will
Amazing.
never see the light of day.
Well, it's kind
and
of amazing.
and then
Wow.
my writing partner got married there, so I went for his wedding there.
Damn.
I really love that city.
Many times
really
in New Orleans.
beautiful.
I-
It's so pretty.
I went there for Mardi Gras one year. I've been multiple times, but I did go for Mardi Gras once. And I was at a parade on one side of the street, and I was on top of a keg screaming at the top of my lungs. And I look across the way from me, and my cousin is standing there. I had no idea she was in New Orleans doing the exact same thing. This is a parade with tens of thousands of people in New Orleans for Mardi Gras, and she is doing
Amazing.
the same thing on the other side. It was unbelievable.
That's tight.
The best feeling.
I've been once, and it was for the millennium. It was for New Year's, 1999.
Was it insane?
I don't remember a lot
Right.
from that week.
Yep.
I kind of blacked out a couple of
And,
times this week.
I blacked out
but
many
not
times
from
too
drinking,
then.
just from, I think it was magic.
I think I
Witch
blacked
magic.
out like right in the middle of the countdown because there were so many people just around me, and then
My worst
it was-
nightmare.
It was, I have since.
You don't like that?
Did you guys do whippets when you were there?
What's that?
Oh God!
Oh,
Roxy.
hell yeah.
What's that?
Hell yeah, whippets.
Please explain
did
a whippet,
you do
Roxy.
whippets when you were there?
Are you
For
talking
sure. Why
about
do you think that I have
drugs?
such a hard time on this show?
Are you talking about?
No, it's like that.
drugs.
Yeah,
They're
I mean,
soft.
I guess so.
They're soft
drugs.
drugs. It doesn't last very long.
You get it at like Bed Bath and Beyond or some shit. It's nitrate or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like basically what you
The
do with the
little
whipped cream
canister.
bottle. I do not recommend
You
this
fill a
at home,
balloon
kids.
and you inhale the balloon.
You
I've
start
always wondered
drooling and your
why.
lips turn
Shut
blue
up.
I'm not
and you
doing
can't
this.
make words. As, like the dumbest thing in the world.
How long
It's like
does that last?
poppers. It's like,
Like 30
poppers, but it lasts
seconds.
Oh,
longer.
okay.
Yeah.
It's literally the dumbest shit ever, but it was cool at the time,
You
man.
lose brain cells from
All
this.
the brain cells.
Yes.
So
They come
that's what's
back.
been happening?
They come back.
It certainly is not the thing that made me lose the most brain cells, Riley. So there's that.
What is it?
What is
That
that?
felt like a
don't
tee
know.
up
I
to
mean,
like
the
a
other
crazy
stuff.
story.
No.
Oh, the Hooters whiskey.
No, you know what? I
It's the Hooters
I was talking
wings.
to Jim Quick this weekend, who is a mental coach and talks about like whatever brain memory, all that stuff. He's amazing. But he was telling me that the fact that I don't sleep, which I never sleep, I'm legitimately like building mental plaque on my brain
Yeah.
right now, and it will be
Yeah.
bad. It will be
Yeah.
bad. There will be
Maybe,
blood.
or maybe be positive, and you could turn into a mutant.
Ooh, maybe. Cody, let us know when we have a call. Caller, you are on Collider Live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Luke Nelson in New York City.
Hell
Hey,
yeah,
Luke.
Luke Nelson. We love Luke Nelson. What's going on, friend?
First thing I got to say is don't do whippets and sleep. Like, just as
Totally.
a PSA for everyone that is listening,
Mm-hmm.
2
Luke
rules
is
of
right.
life, like no whippets and plenty of sleep.
If you sleep, you can do a little whippets.
I agree with what you're saying in theory, sir. In theory.
Very well, look, as a man that fucking partied way too hard on Saturday night and spent all day fucking just losing my mind in bed until Watchmen came on,
There it
I
is.
can say, just fucking stay away from the party. Or at least, like, do it, like, sparingly, right? Like,
Totally.
every
Yeah.
now and again.
I like your
As
party
much-
tips, Luke.
Yeah.
What do you got for us today?
I don't know. Do you guys want to turn down the lights and turn some Vangelis, or do you want to like talk about some WandaVision scoops? Actually, so in your
What?
chat,
Hey, dealer's choice, man.
I'm very
What
glad.
do you
I'm
want
lost
to
in the
talk
weeds
about,
here.
Luke? What question do you have for us, Luke?
well, no, I was going to bring something up from Roxy's chat last night. I was in there and I said that WandaVision is going to do a parody of the sitcom Friends, which I can't confirm, like, totally, but I'm going to say that it is 70% likely. But here is the thing that I can confirm, and I don't know if this is like public knowledge or if a lot of people are picking up on the headline, but the conceit of WandaVision is going to be pretty similar to the show Maniac on Netflix, whereas in every week there's going to be like a side plot that is basically a parody of a different sitcom from throughout the years. So it's going to start like in the 50s and do like the Dick Van Dyke sort of Mary Tyler Moore thing, and then going to keep going from there. So I got to say, it'd be crazy if they don't do a Friends parody, right? Because that's like the biggest sitcom of all time.
Thank you so much for calling. Really appreciate it. Let's talk about
Luke.
it because, yeah, he did come into my chat. I do a live stream, youtube.com/Roxy Striar 3 times a week, and people have all different theories and questions that they put in there. And he was talking about the fact that he said with all of the authority in the world that WandaVision was doing a Friends parody episode. And I said I hadn't heard that yet. And I still haven't heard that other than from him. But also, I think it makes sense in theory, but not in practice, considering Warner Brothers is Friends and Disney. I don't know if they're going to touch that right now. What do you guys think?
Legally speaking, they can parody whatever they want.
Totally they can, but do they want to do that?
I'm pretty sure they're doing it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
What makes you say that?
What's your source, man?
Google. No, I've heard stuff about what they're. I mean, that makes sense. That would make sense from
For
everything
one
that I've heard.
episode that they would do a Friends parody.
I don't know that it's gonna be what like the show's about, but they are certainly like playing on sitcom tropes.
Let's name all of the WandaVision shows that we would want them to parody. On WandaVision, Friends.
You mean the sitcoms?
Yeah, the sitcoms.
All right, I
what
got it.
sitcoms? Mary Tyler Moore, obviously.
Well, one of my favorites that comes of all time, Frasier.
Frasier.
Well,
Obviously.
see,
I think they would do Cheers.
Caveman.
Probably.
thank
They
you.
would
That's
do
what I'm
Frasier.
doing. Cheers.
Yeah.
Cavemen would be cool.
That would be fun.
What about Seinfeld? Do you think that they would do it?
Yeah, just have it be an episode
The
about
movie?
nothing.
Yeah, Caveman.
No, remember it was you had Nick Kroll in it, and it was based on those commercials.
Ah, yes,
yeah,
yes.
dude. No, it's a classic show.
That's right.
Lena
the
Dunham.
Geico. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's fun.
Do you think though that Luke did a Whip It thing before he called us?
No, I don't. And guys, really don't do them. They're seriously bad for your brain. But
Thank you,
but going
Roxy.
back to
Finally.
going back to WandaVision, any other sitcom? Do you think that they would touch upon like the How I Met Your Mothers or anything more recent, or do you think we're going to go
How I
back?
Met Your
I Love
Mother.
Lucy.
Big Bang Theory.
How I Met Your Mother would be fun.
Yeah.
Just to go back into like
Cody, any sitcom that you would be dying for?
I don't know what we're talking about, guys. I'm
Charles
sorry.
in Charge.
What?
So WandaVision, every episode is apparently going to parody some sitcom, because you remember in the WandaVision trailer how it had that Mary Tyler Moore insert. Oh no, Dick Van Dyke inserts.
Yeah.
They're talking about which shows we're going to see a little bit or parody, and our caller Luke was saying that Friends is definitely going to be one of them. And now we're just talking about other sitcoms they could parody that we'd want to see.
That 70s show.
That 70 show would be
Good.
great.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Seinfeld would be great.
All good
that 80s
ones.
show.
That 80s
That
show?
only lasted like 10 episodes, huh?
Sure,
Or
it's
even
enough
less than that.
material. That's
Yeah.
5 hours.
That's true.
I don't think they're going to go
Technically,
there.
if it's 30 minutes.
Maybe Where's Rodney?
Where's
Where's
Rodney?
Rodney?
Don't have that one.
Wow,
Damn
no.
it.
What
I
happened,
really
Cody?
think about that
I lost
song
it.
every time when you're not here. I'm always
Where's
like, where's
Roxy?
Roxy?
I-
It's so good.
That's
My Mother,
that's
the Car?
basically what I just text Josh McCougan
Yeah.
now to keep in touch with him. I
Say
just
it
text.
again.
Did you never see that one?
Which one?
My Mother, the Car?
Oh my god.
Guy's mom's the ghost goes in the car.
Is that a real one?
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think My
No.
Mother, the Car is a real
No,
show?
I don't.
Well.
Well. Why don't we
Shut
bring
the
up
fuck
My
up.
Mother
Yeah.
the Car?
Can you talk to me
Because
about it?
Flying Nun?
1965, comedy man finds his mother reincarnated as the family car.
Wow.
For the record, I will reboot this show in a heartbeat For all the execs who watch Collider Live, I'm here and I'm
lasted
ready
a
to go.
whole year.
Cody, let's take another call when somebody's on the line.
Holy
oh
shit.
my God.
My mother, the
Caller,
car.
you
Yeah.
are on Collider Live.
Don't lie to
What's
you
your
about my mother,
name?
the car.
Where are you calling from?
All right, cool. That WandaVision tangent was terrible, but this is Ryan from Birmingham, Alabama.
Wow.
And, I don't know.
Dude,
Have
no
y'all
need
heard
to throw
about,
shade.
Ryan,
Pokemon that
I-
came out this weekend.
What?
Woo! Pokemon!
Oh, yeah!
Oh, my God.
Play the theme!
Woo!
It clapped. It clapped cheeks. I got my cheeks clapped by an Onyx. It was great. I died. It came back. I got a Pikachu. Oh, my God.
Cody, I know
day
this
for
hurt you,
Cody.
but I think we
Guys,
need to cut this
bye.
caller off because he said that we were terrible.
Oh, he
and
already
then he
hung
went
up.
into Pokemon.
Oh, he hung up.
He cut himself off.
Well,
Holy
Wait,
shit.
did he say we were terrible?
I
Or
think
did he
it-
say
He
that
said
last
that.
call was
He said the
terrible?
WandaVision tangent was terrible.
It
I
was,
didn't
it was
like him.
hostile.
It was hostile for sure.
It's a
Well, he was
hostile
very
call.
excited about
Cody, let us know
Pokemon.
when we have another call. Caller, you are on Collider Live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm Jeremy from Boston, Massachusetts.
Now look at that.
Hell
no.
yeah. What part?
Roxbury.
Cool. What are you calling about today?
I'm talking about what the Wangers have just put out their teaser trailer. I need you guys to watch that because it is mint.
Wait, Cody, talk
We
to
need
us.
more
What?
Wangers on the show.
Cody,
Well-
what is it?
We haven't released it publicly yet, so patreon.com/wangers. You guys can check that out.
Yeah, Cody.
Tease it a little bit though, Cody. What is he talking about?
It's a spooky thriller short film that me and Christian worked on.
Ooh, what's it called?
We haven't released the title yet. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Damn.
Always teasing us.
See, Boston
Show
callers are
them
the
the
best.
teaser trailer.
Yeah, when you guys and everybody at Collider Live have talked to these guys about it, when it's ready, we're going to have those guys talk about it a little bit, and we'll drop a link in the description so that
Very
you can
soon.
see it. Yeah.
And subscribe to the Wangers, guys. They're very, very talented. I love all their short films.
They have had you on quite a bit, D.
A couple of times.
Yeah, haven't been asked yet.
No, me neither. Have you been asked, Ben?
To be on Wangers? Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, caller. Cody, let us know when we have somebody else on the line.
I watched it, the turning.
You
the
watched
turning
it.
of the wheels.
Caller, you are on Collider Live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, guys? It's Iko the Rain Man from South Florida here.
Hell
South
yeah.
Florida?
Yeah. You excited about that?
Yo, where
Florida.
about?
Boca Raton.
Hey, Coral Springs. What's up, Boca?
Good, brother. It's good to hear from you guys again. How's everyone doing?
We're doing
Great.
okay. What are you calling about today?
Alrighty, so I'll try not to ramble too long, but I wanted to touch up on something that you mentioned earlier, Roxy. And I hate to bring this back up because I know it's something that nobody or everyone won't shut up about is Zack Snyder. So you mentioned earlier that you don't, like, if they do release the Zack Snyder cut, that directors will have sort of this, they'll feel like they're more, what's the word? I guess like feel like they'll have more of the authority to have more of a say on the final cut for the movie, and feel more privileged to have more of that creative control. So one of the things that I don't think you guys possibly know is there's a huge rumor going about that Zack Snyder was actually fired from Justice League.
Yeah, I do know that.
And
Yeah.
Warner Brothers sort of took advantage that his daughter had passed away
Yeah.
and sort of guised that as a mean of kind of getting him off the boat. So
Yeah.
a lot of fans feel that he was, like, they sort of went behind his back. So, for instance, after he was let go, instead of just doing reshoots, they completely rewrote, I don't know, a quarter or half of the movie. They sort of changed it behind his back. And if you follow him on Vero, which a lot of fans have pointed out, that he just was completely against this. He has not even watched Justice League.
So
the cut of the movie that exists now, like, he has no idea.
I'm super aware of
what's
all
actually in the movie.
of just because I totally get where you're going with this. Super aware of all this. Just so you know, I host a show called DC Movie News once a week. So there's very little that goes on in DC rumor mill that I'm not at least a little bit aware
You're
of.
like the DC Yoda.
Can I be DC Baby Yoda? Sure. Cool. Thanks.
Topical.
So I definitely know what you're talking about. It absolutely has not been proven that that's why Zack Snyder was removed from the project. It could be, it could not be. I really don't know. I don't know whether he stepped away because he needed time with his family, like he said, or whether DC was not happy with his performance and they looked at that as a good parting time.
Yeah.
But either way, regardless, I didn't say that this would make directors have more say in their final cut because I believe directors should have more say in their final cut. I'm just concerned that people are not going to necessarily. The entitlement is crazy. With all of these things. Yeah. It's insane. And I think that people will not let things go. It's the fans that I'm concerned about. If when we do see the Snyder Cut, fans are going to know that Warner Brothers listened to them. Because without the fans, Warner Brothers was never going to release the Snyder Cut. Mm-hmm. So is this what we're going to see for any movie where a director is replaced for any reason from here on out?
Or if they don't like, say, the look of Sonic.
Correct. I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah. And they go on social media, and the filmmakers then go, sorry.
Thank you so much for the call, by the way.
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up, Roxy, because it's interesting. It's one of those things where as a fan, you can be like, okay, this is what I would like to happen, but to start protests and boycotts and petitions, I mean, that's like, get a life, as William Shatner would say.
At this point, I am actually on team, I want the Snyder Cut to be released.
For sure.
As I said, I would like the Snyder Cut to be released right now. Because I am curious at this point. Yeah. But I am concerned. I'm concerned of what that means for the future. If every time somebody doesn't like The Last Jedi, they can just start screaming and say, we need a new Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I will say,
sign it.
What I really, really want to see happen is all the people that are upset about The Last Jedi, which I love. I love that movie. I would love to see them raise the money to make their own version of it. I would just really love to see that movie.
Me too.
I do too.
That would be great.
I want to see ripped Luke.
Yeah.
I want to see Snoke.
I'm totally cool with seeing fan films in general.
Let's get an Indiegogo going. Raise $2 million, which I'm pretty sure is you can make your Star Wars movie. I want to see it.
I think you're actually talking about the actual Indiegogo they launched.
Wait, what?
Yeah, this is a real
it did
thing.
happen.
To personally film a.
That's why I brought up the petition thing because people and crowdfunds
cool.
people. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Seth Rogen, I remember
I
going
just
on
wish-
Twitter asking the guys like, "Wait, you want to remake The Last Jedi?"
Yeah.
It was funny.
Cody, let us know when we have another call. Caller, you're on Collider Live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Ryan from Birmingham. I just wanted to apologize. I wasn't saying y'all are terrible.
Oh, Ryan, you're the best. Thanks for calling back.
WandaVision
No,
was
I think we talked to Roxy. I think he said that the WandaVision tangent.
Ryan,
Yeah.
don't worry about it, man.
Riley defends me because, I don't even know. I called in a while back and missed a trivia question to get tickets for Showdown, but it was, did Riley have the shits? And I asked Roxy, and you said the shits, and I got it wrong.
Yeah.
And so I got this grudge against Roxy. But it's okay.
Is this really Saul?
Here's the deal. No, here's the deal. It was what keeps Riley up at night.
And you said the shits,
here's why I said the shits. Because the entire episode, everybody had been making fun of me for everything I guess is wrong. So I was like, okay, I know it's his restless leg syndrome, but I'm going to say the shits because he's going to know what I'm saying is wrong.
And you were trying
so
to help
I tried to
Ryan.
help
Yeah.
you.
Yes.
I know, man. I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. But I do have a question. Have you all seen Bong Joon-ho's Parasite?
Yes.
Not yet.
Yes.
That movie
Okay,
is
it's
so
spectacular.
fucking good.
I hear it's
I'm
amazing.
obsessed with
Yeah.
it. Yes.
What?
Real or fake?
Why would I lie about
I think for this one,
I am a huge Bong stan, and Director Bong's the best, and I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
You do this thing with your eyebrow when you are.
Yeah, you raise
Yeah.
it. It's like, are you lying every time you raise your eyebrow? Yeah.
I don't
There
know.
you go. But yeah, thank you for the call, Ryan.
Thank
I
you so much.
love this movie. I've been actually getting some followers tell me that they saw it finally because I recommended it and they love it. You guys need to see it. I think it should win Best Movie of the Year, not just Best Foreign Film.
They
It's
call it
amazing.
Best Picture.
Oh, thank you, Ben. That's why we invited you.
This is so fun. I love when two people beef on the show and it's not me.
So guys,
Keep
talk about
going.
it.
The
Go.
beef is real.
Wow.
Did you just
It's a
Oscar
great
explain
movie.
me, Ben?
I did.
Oh my God.
Keep it up.
Great.
Go.
Okay.
Get up.
Roxy's like, I'm not in the middle of
Do we,
this.
I,
So happy.
only somewhat of a non sequitur. Do we know if Long Day's Journey into Night qualifies for this year's Oscars or if it was for last year's Oscars?
I have no idea.
I have zero idea either. Cody, let's take one more call before we go to break. Why, did you have more to say about that?
I just said everyone should see
Caller,
it. It's best.
You're on Collider Live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up? It's Angie Gabriel from Oakland, California.
Hello. Hey. What's going on? What do you want to talk about today?
First of all, I was drinking hot tea earlier when you were talking about Hooters, and I laughed so hard I spit hot tea on myself, so that was fun.
You can send an invoice to Collider.
Did you also
Care of.
Did you also feel like all of a sudden you had a desire to go to Hooters?
Yeah, I totally did. I want to go right now. Actually, my dad, he gave me a Hooters gift card for Christmas when he realized like I was gay in high school.
Oh my God!
Very
Did
nice.
you end up
Is
using
that,
it?
is that nice or offensive?
No, it's sweet because like I'm gay.
Cool. I love.
Did you end up using?
That's very cute.
Did you end up using the gift card?
Yes, totally.
Hell yeah.
So my
Good.
question for you guys is, are you ever going to have like Collider live show, like events? Like I know Kind of Funny does stuff like that sometimes.
You want to know what? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's all. That's all I can say because I don't know when and I don't know where, but we all want that so bad.
Yeah.
So hell
2
yeah.
years.
And we've talked about
Awesome.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we hopefully we're hoping because things have been changing quite quickly here in the last couple of weeks. So, but that's definitely in our plans. Like it's happening. Hopefully, it happens beginning of the next year. We'll see.
Ideally, I would love to do live events in LA.
Yes.
Go travel, do one somewhere else. I would like to
Bay Area.
Bay Area.
Bay Area
sure.
would be fantastic.
I
We
would
could do a
love
live
to.
podcast at a Hooters.
I mean, 100% Hooters did
If
not
you,
pay me
if
for
you
this episode.
partner
and
with
they
Hooters,
should.
you can just do all the Hooters chains, and there's a lot of them. You could pretty much go to every city.
Do you guys acknowledge
Great
that
American Hooters tour?
I just gave Hooters the credit for having eliminated
Defeated
terrorism
ISIS.
in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Hooters
a no.
defeated
I'm
ISIS.
not going to say it was a hot take, but it was a bold statement for sure.
Thank you so much for calling. We really appreciate it. You rock, and we'll be seeing you soon at a Hooters in the Bay Area.
I hope.
Let's go to commercial, guys. We will come back. We'll have some more nonsense for you and a little bit more news. I guess maybe we'll talk Star Wars.
Yeah,
we'll see how I'm feeling.
It's a great song. You guys feeling this? Let's turn it up. Boom.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider
just play
Sports
this.
YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Riley here. Let me tell you about the Riley Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Riley Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Riley here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops in on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
We lost Dee.
She's here. She just.
She's invisible.
She
It's
just
like a new
assumed her true
vampire
form.
trick that she does.
I have to be so bad. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Here's the deal. I know that we used to joke about this, but we need signs on the bathroom that say you cannot pee if you are not a Collider Live host or staff member during the Collider Live breaks, because we only have 4 minutes to pee, and if somebody's in there, I can't pee for 2 hours.
I didn't get to pee. Going. Are we not supposed to be? I didn't realize we had the option of going.
Oh, that's
into
what the pee bucket's for.
No, but it drives me insane. Like, I'll walk. I know that sounds like the most entitled shit I've ever said, but like,
No, but we gotta pee.
And I'll get over there, and somebody will be in there, and I'll wait. I'll wait it out, and then I hear Cody.
It's
1
always-
minute. I didn't get to pee this whole show today.
You
It's
should
always
knock
the VR
and say,
guys, too.
"Cut it off."
What?
I need to get in there.
Cut it off.
Yeah, like the stream.
Oh, that's assuming it's a
Of
dude.
you're in?
Well, I don't. Would you ever say that? Cut it off?
No, well, I tried, but I was just like, I gotta be on the show, and like the breaks probably over, and I just kept peeing, and I couldn't do it.
Sure.
Cody screamed in there, and that made sense because I literally thought you meant like cut your dick off.
No, I meant like I meant like tense your pelvic floor.
What?
Yeah.
But I've been holding my pelvic floor the
What
whole
is-
show, so I needed to release.
Sure.
What
That's
is
what happened then,
tense
yeah.
your pelvic floor?
It's a muscle.
Like Kegel stuff?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tent
yeah.
it?
Tense.
Yeah.
Like a muscle, like tense it.
I don't like what's happening.
Tent it?
That's what I thought
I
you
guess
said.
it's sort of
Tent
like
it
it's
and
the
cut
same
it.
concept as like
You literally told me to tent my penis and then cut it off.
Oh,
That's what you said.
Ah.
Ooh, play some
This
good
is a
white
lot.
horses.
This is
on
a
the
lot.
sides
You're
of
like
lamps.
taking what my words and running with them. This isn't my fault.
Kind of similar to what you do with other people's work and run with it,
Arguably.
sir.
I'm glad you're on the show today, Ben. Are you having fun?
I'm having a great time.
So
Good.
you just told me off air. I didn't know that you had a show coming in on Netflix.
Yes.
Can
Well, I
talk-
got really nervous for a second there because we also talked about.
Yeah, something else that we
Wow,
are
what
not.
What a dickhead I would be if I did that.
I was like, oh no.
No. A Netflix
Yeah, we're gonna
show.
lean right into it. Hope you're okay with that. so.
Yeah. I wrote on a Netflix show that's coming out, I believe, very soon. But you know how Netflix works. They'll announce when it's coming out a few weeks, I'm sure, before it actually does. But I believe it's very soon.
You'll find out it's coming out because you'll see a billboard.
Yes, there is a teaser out there. It's called Kipo and the Age of Wonder Beasts. It's a DreamWorks show as well. It's animated. I think
Cody could pull it up if he wanted to.
use
See,
the option.
this is what I'm talking about, Roxy. That fucking attitude there.
Yes. This
It's
is
Monday.
Yep.
It's Monday.
I will say that I think it's like the best thing I've ever worked on. It's a really great show.
How did you get involved?
You can't say anything about it?
Oh, he
I
just
think
said
there's
it.
some stuff I can say about it that they've announced. It's post-apocalyptic. It is a show that's made it's made for a younger audience, but the writers' room definitely we wrote it so that anyone can watch it and enjoy it.
You mean any age, any?
Yes, yeah. There's really, really cool action scenes. There was a joke on every page of the script. It's super funny. I think I'm allowed to say that there's songs because there's one in the teaser.
Ooh.
The cast is crazy. They have not announced the cast yet, but it's got a really cool cast.
Like big celebrity names or big VO names or
yes,
both and both.
Yes.
Wow. How did you get involved? Did you know somebody on the project, or have you just been trying to get in writers' rooms?
Yeah. I had written on I'd written on a show called Final Space before that, which has been on TBS, and I think both of the seasons that have come out are streaming now. And then I've written a bunch of other. I'd written some kid TV for Cartoon Network, the show called Clarence, and some more adult stuff for Adult Swim. So I'd been working in TV, and the way that it kind of works as like a writer is you are constantly taking meetings. I've got meetings later today. I've got meetings tomorrow where you're meeting with executives at like every company all over town, and people get to know you and they read your sample scripts and stuff. And so this was just the result of an executive at DreamWorks had been talking to my writing partner and I about a different project that didn't pan out, but then he was covering this show and he recommended us to the showrunners, and then we met with them and they read our sample script, and months passed, and then we got the call that they wanted us in the room, and it was awesome.
How many meetings like this do you have as a writer, where comparatively as to like what actually gets released?
Oh God, it's maybe 1% of the meetings I take go anywhere, but that's like now. I mean, I'll say that like it's good to just keep meeting people. It's at least fun. I mean, it's a fun job. You have to drive around town, but you're just like meeting people and laughing and talking to them. So like, it's not really anything worth complaining about, but it's definitely a crapshoot where, you know, you take 100 meetings and maybe one of those gets you to the next step on a job, and then you get 100 of those next step meetings, and maybe one of those, you know.
You know, I heard from a lot of my writer friends and just people in the business how important it is if you're trying to write, especially for TV, that your Twitter is on fire. That they care a lot about. They want to see, especially in comedy, joke, and that's kind of what you're doing. Is your Twitter because you are a writer and you want to get hired based off of that, or is that just part of your personality?
It's just there's only so much of the stuff that like I work on, and that myself and my writing partner Chris Amick work on, that actually like sees the light of day. So most of our days are spent working on projects that may or may not ever happen. So I think it's mostly, for me, Twitter's just like creative release. I used to make like YouTube videos and comedy sketches, and that was like a really great like instant gratification thing, and I don't have that really anymore, so Twitter kind of just became that for me. I don't think it's ever had any bearing on any job I've gotten. I'm sure for other people, yes. I don't have that many followers.
Yeah, but you've got fire tweets. It's not about the amount of followers you have, it's about the fact that you're funny. Yeah. And they can see that every day you're being funny.
I'm sure it'll help at some point. It hasn't yet. No one's like brought it up in like a meeting or anything.
Nobody's mentioned in a meeting yet your Twitter?
That
shocks
me. That is unbelievable. Yeah. I would feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like social media is huge now comparatively. Yeah, like to like exactly as a resume. Now it works as a resume. Any of your social media handles, like companies check that. They didn't used to a few years ago, but now they do.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess it's helped career-wise in terms of like I've been able to meet people through Twitter. Right. So like I've made a lot. I've made just a lot of the closest friends I've made in the last few years have been through Twitter.
Because like Darina.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes. I mean, honestly, it's like I mean, in a sense, it's like matchmaking. You're like finding people who have similar voice or similar interests, or who you connect with.
Right.
Through a platform where you're just vomiting out your everything from your brain like all day.
And then you find other fellow people that like your word vomit. Yeah. And then you become friends. I love that about it. That's why it's my favorite platform.
Yeah.
It's a shit show, but it's great.
Twitter
yes,
is?
it's got a lot of problems. There's like probably too many Nazis, but
there's too many Nazis in the world in general.
Because they're allowed to be there.
Yeah, they should.
Which is kind of funny.
I mean, free speech, right?
For lack of better words,
hate
like,
speech.
Yeah. Wild.
But it is. I'm very grateful for the friends I've made. And yes, certainly, I've met people who've been able to help me in my career, or like mentor me, who are like much farther along in their careers as writers, who've like seen me on Twitter and be like, "Oh, I like your voice. Like, let me read some stuff, or let's like meet up for drinks." That's definitely happened.
That's cool.
So yeah,
no,
so
same here.
That's definitely helped.
It is bizarre that I always used to kind of give the internet crap, but I found best friends through there. It's so bizarre. I never thought that would happen in the last few years.
That's how I got Ben on the show. I've
Yeah.
been following
True.
him on Twitter. I just
Slid into the DMs.
loved you. Yeah, I slid into those DMs.
Yeah. He said,
I
would
sure
you like
did.
to be on this show or send me nudes?
Yeah. Got the nudes first, and then we
Yes,
you know,
and we'll see after the show.
and then we negotiated after.
Want to
that.
go to Hooters is what you think. Yeah.
Nipple ring or what? I can't tell.
Two.
I'm just
If you had to guess.
dual nipple ring.
Dual nipple rings, but on one nipple, which is weird. I didn't know
Both
how
the
that
nipples
worked out.
and the belly button, and it
Kodiak
makes the
today.
flux capacitor. Yeah.
I'm
Dee, what are you
reading the live chat, and somebody's asking why is Dorina not also on the Witching Hour. I'm actually going to be on the Witching Hour this week, so check that out
There
because
it is.
Perry is traveling. So there you go.
Speaking of non sequiturs, let's talk a little bit about box office right now. Because Riley,
Yeah.
I have been out of town and traveling, so I've been missing a lot of screeners. So I have not seen Ford v Ferrari or Charlie's Angels, but they did go head to head against each other.
They did.
And one of them was a little faster than the other.
Oh, I see what you're doing there.
Which was more furious, if you had to guess?
Oh, that's not as good because it's not Fast and the Furious reference. It's
But there's cars in Fast and the Furious.
But good try, Ben.
There's like a bunch of cars.
Riley, what's actually happening in the box
So
office?
Ford v Ferrari did open and win the #1 spot with $31 million for the first weekend, which surprised a lot of people. Midway came in at #2 with $8.75 million, and
job,
then
Boomers.
Charlie's Angels didn't do too well with 8.6 domestic. That is so,
Really, really sad to hear that.
Yeah.
Really
I wanna
sad to
see
hear
it.
that. Female director, female cast, franchise movie. I've heard from a lot of people that it's actually really good. I love the original Charlie's Angels. I'm definitely going to be going to see this in theater. It's going to be one of the few things I actually pay for this year to go see because I didn't get to see the screener. I'm bummed. I'm really bummed with that low number. I thought it would be more than double that.
Yeah, and I heard good. I actually did hear good things.
I
I've
heard it was
mixed
good.
things, but then I heard more positive stuff. I was surprised, though. I think the marketing campaign for me, I knew there was a few trailers out, but when this thing was reported as jumping in the #3 spot, I went, oh, wow, it came out this weekend. I did not know that.
I also didn't realize it was coming out this weekend.
So there was a disconnect between that final trailer where I was like, oh, that's a good trailer, to when it actually came out because I knew Ford versus Ferrari was out. And that's about it. I thought that was the biggest release. Didn't know Charlie's Angels.
Well, were you guys interested in seeing Charlie's Angels at all because of the property or because of the actresses, right? Because for me, I'm
Both, everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
And the trailer.
Okay, because
Elizabeth
it's
Banks.
kind of weird how I used to make fun of Twilight so much, and now I'm a huge fan of Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson. I don't know how that happened, but that's literally the only reason I want to see it because I love her.
I think Naomi Scott is also amazing.
Who is she?
She's Jasmine.
She's in the new Aladdin. Okay,
I
cool.
really liked the remake of Aladdin.
Did you?
Yeah.
You did too,
I did
right?
too.
I loved it. It's one of my top 10 favorite movies of the year.
It's
It's
one of my
really good.
favorite. I saw finally Lady
It's
and the
joyous.
Tramp last night, and that was
The live action? I liked it. You didn't like it?
no. I didn't think
liked it. It was
these
sweet.
these Disney remakes like Lion King, Lady and the Tramp, Beauty and the Beast to a certain degree didn't do anything for me. I didn't think they brought anything to the conversation, anything new. Aladdin for me did.
Yeah.
Jungle Book did. Cinderella is probably my favorite of all of them because I felt it was charming and added something to the conversation.
Charming.
Charming.
Alarming.
There
What
it
did you
is.
think, Cody? Did you see Ford v Ferrari or Charlie's Angels?
No.
Do you
good
want
talk,
to see
Russ.
them?
Sure. Haven't really got out of the house much.
Aw.
Yeah.
Why
He's
is
like,
that?
I will
Child.
watch anything.
Well, if
Yeah.
you took your baby to the movies more, then maybe you could go.
To see Ford v Ferrari. Yeah. Good kids movie.
Kids
Yeah.
movie.
He might
Yes.
like it. You might. That might get a little Grant into cars.
Kids love cars.
Yeah,
That's true.
Thank you
movie's-
guys. And they love angels.
exactly.
You haven't seen Ford versus Ferrari?
I haven't seen either of these.
And you
I haven't seen
either?
either of them, no.
Ben,
I was
have you?
traveling all weekend. I do want to see both of those movies, though.
I do too.
I think Ford versus Ferrari was one of the best movies of the year.
Well, I'm hearing it's an Oscar contender.
Yes, absolutely. I think they'll both be nominated.
Maybe Best Picture
They'll both
Maybe.
Ford vs. Ferrari and Charlie's
Or
Angels.
best movie, Ben.
of the year.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Christian Bale are
You think both the actors?
will both be nominated
For what?
Best actor. I think they're both competing. I think they're both going to do the Oscar campaign for both. They're going
They
to
are?
split it. They're going to both go for Best Actor, which I believe is the right thing to do.
Who directed it?
James Mangold.
Ah,
And he should be nominated. I think it's some of the best racing I've ever seen.
Cool.
I love the story. I think it should be nominated for Best Picture. Great movie. I'm glad to see it actually did very well.
Cool. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Charlie's Angels. I don't know what to say. I think
I'm
it's
bummed.
I think it's more of a, maybe it's the brand, maybe it's that like there's, Charlie's Angels, not a lot of love out there. I don't really necessarily agree with what Elizabeth Banks said, that it was like, men didn't want to go support this. I think that it's a bigger picture of these blockbuster movies that are coming out that some people are like, do I need to see it?
Thinking, what do you guys think demographic wise though? Is it made for a younger generation that doesn't go to the movies as much? Because kids go to the movies for family films, right? But what about teenagers? Are they still going to the movies? Or do they just watch streaming and YouTube?
Should have put it on TikTok.
There you go.
There's something interesting that they did compare box office to last year. I saw this somewhere on Twitter, and there was a very noticeable drop in percentages and box office. And the movies versus last year versus this year, there wasn't anything that really stood out to me. And I started thinking streaming services are starting to become a very big thing, that people aren't going out to the movies.
I desperately just want Ben to interview Elizabeth Banks and say, "Did you think about putting it on TikTok?" At any
point did you consider
it?
Because
maybe it would have been
Quibi's
better
doing
for you.
it with the little chunks now, so you could get ahead of the curve before they even come out.
Imagine Charlie's it, because how long are your TikTok videos? They're less than Quibi even, right?
I'm pretty sure they're less than Quibi's like 12 minutes, 8 minutes.
TikTok's like
8 seconds.
Yeah.
TikTok's more like Vine.
I seriously
TikTok scares the shit out of me. I don't understand
I
it.
I don't either.
I would watch Charlie's Angels TikTok style.
Just an 8-second.
Every day
bit.
you get 8
You get 2
seconds
lines
of
of dialogue per talk.
This world is going in a weird direction. Cody, let's open up the phone lines for the last few minutes of the show and get some callers in before we head out for the day. But also we had some Dwayne Johnson talk, more DC news for us. Riley, what happened here?
Yeah, so looks like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, his Black Adam movie is enlisting the DP from Joker. Larry Sher will shoot Black Adam, who he did do Joker.
Least surprising news of all time, considering these are both relatively villain movies. The Joker did incredibly well. Dwayne Johnson, I'm sure, has a lot of pull in this universe. And I think it looked great. So, yes, yes, and yes, and yes.
They still have the dude
everybody from the Joker make a movie.
Well, and that's the other news that I didn't mention. It did finally cross. Joker did $1 billion worldwide. It's probably one of the most, if not the most, profitable superhero movie all time based on that budget. There it is, Dorina. You're going to laugh it all the way.
If you sit in the room, you play the game. Joker laugh.
No way.
Yeah.
No, you had to do it now.
If you sit in
That's
the
my
room,
line.
Ben.
Not doing that.
If you sit in the room, you play the game. Fine, you have to do any kind of laugh then. Can be any character.
And go.
All right, I'll do Will Smith. Ha ha.
Well done, Ben.
Sit in the room, you play the game.
It reminded me of
All
the-
right,
You gotta buy
caller,
a ticket to ride
you
the
are
ride.
on Collider Live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Manny from Health Central. How you guys doing?
Hey, Manny. I'm so happy we opened up the lines to get you in today. What's going on? What do you got for us?
Well, first, I'm just happy you guys are doing the Joker laugh because I was the one that called you guys about the Joker laugh. So I'm
Hey,
just
full
really excited
circle.
to-
I love
So
it.
thanks
still
to
going.
thanks to you, we got Roxy's Pee Wee Herman laugh.
It's very true.
Really
All
good.
right. I'm so glad I got to go in today. It's been a great episode. Pokemon Sword and Shield was mentioned. Slowpoke Rodriguez was mentioned. You know, he has a gun. Hooters was mentioned. So I'm just really happy I got in today.
We've hit a lot of topics.
I
yeah.
love Hooters.
Good work, team.
What do you want us to talk about additionally today, though, Manny?
Okay. Before I go in, Roxy, go easy on Mark.
Thank
It's
you.
Monday.
Thank you.
He's a nice, clean boy.
I mean,
cuts his nails.
Thank you.
He has good hair.
Exactly.
Half the things you just said are not true.
Have you?
Which half?
You just
Let's
look
break it
so
down.
The part
annoyed.
that he says he clips his
No,
nails.
those
I
look
actually,
a little long today. They look
I
a little
clipped
long.
my nails last
Like
week.
2 minutes ago.
Last week is too long.
Yeah, it's every third day.
Yeah.
What are you motherfuckers doing? Cutting your nails every day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Third.
Yeah.
Jesus, talk
Yeah,
about
I
my
file them
nightmare.
every day.
Yeah, me too.
there you go.
Well, that I don't do. I'm
All
gonna
right.
sit
So,
there and
so now that
Manny-
you've given me a decent amount of shit, Manny, I really appreciate it. What else you got for us?
All right, I'm just going back to their main topic about the Snyder Cut. I do think that WB is going to do it even without the hashtag because WB, I think, has a history of closing the loop, for lack of a better word. They always make it up to people. They got Billy D. Williams to play Two-Face at one point. They got Brandon Routh to play Superman again. They did the Donner Cut. They got Nick Cage to play Superman in Teen Titans. They got Nathan Fillion to play Green Lantern.
But
like,
that
on
is
the
so-
animated series.
Manny, I really appreciate the call, but that is so getting somebody eventually to play something is so different. Without this hashtag, the movie never would have been released. There's no shot if fans had not been doing hashtag release the Snyder cut that this movie would have been released. Why would WB have done that?
You don't think it would have happened like with the Ultimate Edition of BVS or the Watchmen Director's Cut, etc.?
No, because it's not stuff that they've already taped and edited. Like they have to literally create and release a whole new thing.
Yeah. 2 years.
Manny, thank you for the call.
And BVS did a lot better than Justice League.
That's true.
In theaters. So I
Everything
think that's
did
what
better than Justice League.
Exactly. And I think that was the big hurdle is that movie tanked at the box office comparative and if they're shooting half of the movie over again, that budget, we probably don't know how much they spent on that movie.
Yeah, it's the impressive thing about fandom. And I'll say entitled all I want, and, I give people crap, but, like, the fact that we are able to do that in 2019, that everybody has a voice online, and that you can't take that away from the fans. You can't say that they would have released the Snyder Cut no matter what, hashtag be damned. The only reason we're actually talking about this is because of the fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's scary you are a trending topic, and that's what happens. I never want to be a trending topic. That's like my worst nightmare.
Really?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
What are you guys talking about? Just this is what you do for a living.
No, I mean like literally being a trending topic on Twitter where like people know you. That sounds horrible.
What about if you die?
And that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw someone say on Twitter that every day there is a main character on Twitter, and the goal is to not be that person, and I could not agree more.
Oh my God!
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
What if it was
This is what Christian Harloff and I always talk about. Like, I am on most shows that I'm on, I'm the most talked about person on the show, good or bad, because I never want to be timid. I want to be unapologetically myself, and that means that half the internet fucking hates me. Right, and that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm okay trending.
You're moving
when
a
I'm being
needle.
me. You know, obviously I don't ever want to trend for anything. Like doing something horrific, but I'm a pretty good person, so hopefully I don't do anything horrific.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're. Well, I
hopefully,
guess yeah.
No, and
I'm pretty tired these days, so we'll see.
I'm so tired. How tired are you guys?
So tired.
Yeah, like I haven't slept in a while. I don't know what sleep is anymore.
Yeah. I took a micro nap a second ago. No one noticed.
Yeah. Did you have your eyes open?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how that works. Cody, we'll take one more call.
It worked in the Friday.
Caller, you're
Nightmare
on
Reading?
Collider Live. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Ryan, and I'm from Bend, Oregon.
Hey, Ryan.
I just took a trip to Oregon for my first time ever.
It's so pretty.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah, I heard. Good. Yeah, that's the Portland area. I'm more of the Central Oregon, but yeah, a lot of places.
Ryan, what do you got for us today?
First, I'd like to say a couple things about the show. Number one, I love what you guys talk about, no matter if it's movies or just what's going on in your life and the different opinions. You got a lot of good views, so I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank
appreciate
you so
that.
much.
And then the other thing is, living in Central Oregon, unfortunately, we only have one movie theater chain here, and that's Regal, and we only have one movie theater. So it is really hard to see some of these movies that you guys talk about. But I've been lucky enough that last weekend I saw Dr. Sleep and Parasite, both of which I really enjoyed.
Great.
So those were really good. And then this weekend I saw Jojo Rabbit, Charlie's Angels, and Ford v Ferrari.
Busy
We
dude.
finally got Jojo Rabbit, which was something I was really looking forward to. And that did not disappoint. I think that was the best that I saw out of the three. But you guys were talking about the Charlie's Angels and why maybe it didn't do so well. I'm not really sure. I mean, for me, obviously, I go quite a bit, and I knew going into that movie it was just going to be, fun, and that's all I got from it. So the only thing I can really think is if people are waiting to spend their money for something because there are a lot of different things coming out that that wasn't what they wanted to spend their money on, which I don't think they thought it was going to be bad, but just with a lot of choices, that's why they chose not to go to that one, unfortunately.
Ryan, thank you so much for calling in. Really appreciate it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I
Yeah.
think that when there's a bunch of movies in the theaters right now, and especially people are still talking about Joker. Maybe like people in Bend, Oregon, where there's only one movie theater, maybe they're catching up on these other movies. Charlie's Angels, I think, suffers from having 2 previous movies that were kind of
amazing.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Fucking love those movies.
Me too.
We'll go with that.
I literally
depending
love
on
them
who
so
you
much.
are, but I think it's it's one of those
so he's
brands.
attacking me again. People,
Yeah.
see what's
Didn't you
happening
hear
again.
our caller, Roxy, say that you need to chill out?
Yeah.
I don't care what Manny said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be trending. Be damned, Riley.
Just you.
I love the
That's
first
how we
one.
love
I
you.
do wonder if they didn't
Yes.
imagine that it was more like counter-programming against Ford versus Ferrari, which seemed like more the adult drama made for older people to go to the theater to see, and they maybe saw Charlie's Angels as something that was skewing a little younger, and
It could be.
maybe we're wrong about who the demographic was that remembered that brand or had any kind of attachment to that brand, and maybe there was too much crossover between those 2 movies.
Also,
That's a good
I
point.
love the movie theater experience.
Yeah.
It's so much, especially horror movies. It's my favorite thing to do. But I understand why people would save their money and stay home. I mean, that's the other thing too that's happening with streaming, right? So, which is kind of shitty. But
Are you really saving
bummer.
your money at that point? You're just buying more streaming services.
You
Well,
have
if
it
you're
has
paying
it has
But
the
it's
illusion of saving.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
I totally hear you.
Yeah.
No, I
Because you're like,
finally
I'm
just-
seeing
Especially
100
if you're
movies for this
buying like
price.
family movie tickets, right? Like
Yeah.
how many tickets are you buying for
Right.
just one movie?
This is why we don't have kids.
Exactly. Well, many
Yeah.
reasons for both of us,
Also,
but that's
because-
one of them.
Also, because I'm trying to breastfeed my 4-year-old child, so I don't know.
Oh, it was specifically breast milk.
What other milk?
I mean,
is
you could
there?
try.
Sure.
It's just,
And on that note,
Oh, Dorina, where can everybody keep up with you? At Evil Dorina?
yes,
Riley.
at Evil Dorina.
At
Riley Round.
Riley
You
Round.
can see me there.
Ben Meckler with the best Twitter on the Twitterverse.
Shucks.
Wow, killing these outros.
At Ben Meckler, MEK-LER, no C.
Cody Hall, when is your thing dropping again?
In a couple weeks.
All right, well, then we'll look out for it then. I'm everywhere at Roxy Stryer, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, whether you like it or not, for Collider Live.